$9.99. Remington 22 long rifle ammo, $4.99 for a 50-count box. If you need ammo, Jelco has a large selection. Don't miss the Black Friday shopping week of savings. Now through Saturday at Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
Ty Richardson, we're at Wheeler Power Sports in downtown Fort Smith. Lindsay, what's going on this month?
We have the new Kawasaki Ridge side-by-sides in stock. Most of them have a full cab with heat and air. They have a 1000cc inline 4-cylinder engine. We also have new Kawasaki Brute Force 450s and 750s in stock. And we are stocked up for dirt bikes and ATVs for the holiday season. Come by and see us or visit WheelerPowersports.com.
Wheeler Power Sports, keeping the good times rolling since 1967.
Hi, this is Lindsay White with White Office Machines. For over 90 years, my family's been serving the greater Fort Smith region with the image industry's newest technologies, as well as providing superior customer service through long-term business relationships. As the area's only authorized Kyocera document solutions dealer, White Office Machines provides the best value with high-speed copiers and the latest multifunction printers. Stop by our office in downtown Fort Smith or in Russellville. Follow us on Facebook or go to whiteoffice.com.
White Office Machines since 1929.
Hey, it's Ty Richardson, and we are live at Lily's Sandwich Shop in the Bakery District. Jose, but what we got whipping up today, man?
Man, today's special, we have the French Toast Turkey Melt, kind of a special sandwich. It really didn't put us on the map, but it did put a star by our name.
Daily specials every day at the award-winning Lily's Sandwich Shop. And if you don't believe me, ask Lily.
My name is Lily. My papa makes the best sandwiches at Lily's Sandwich. Come by and see him at the Bakery District today.
Up to $10,000 off or $7,000 off and 0% financing on select 2024 GMC Sierras at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The 24 GMC Sierra will conquer the road with confidence. Up to $10,000 off or take $7,000 in discounts and 0% financing with approved credit. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, plenty of sunshine, a high this afternoon in the middle to upper 50s. We will see an increase in the cloud cover tonight. And overnight low will drop down upper 30s to low 40s. Mainly gray skies Wednesday, a high right around 60. Thanksgiving, sunny, mid 40s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Shamrock Liquor Warehouse, 5609 Midland Boulevard, your leader in fine wines, beers, and spirits. You're listening to The Morning Rush, live from the Busch Light Studios on ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris, Fort Smith. Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center Studios. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com. That's the perspective.
Ask me if I'm all right. Why can't they dominate? And we not doing it. We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field. Yeah.
People said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. What's my heart, dog? Let's go, man.
The angles were so bad, we showed them at halftime.
What ain't but one racerback?
Like, what in the world were we thinking?
It's vintage Matt Jones.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
Morning, everybody. It's a lovely day to be with you on a Tuesday, Thanksgiving week. Halftime is on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. Phil Elson here with Matt Jones. Kristen Johnston is producing a Tuesday with Grant Hall, Alyssa Orange, and maybe Bill King. I haven't heard back from Bill yet, but we'll figure it out. He's got Matt. Good morning to you. How you doing today?
Good morning.
Yeah. How about this? How about this final score from yesterday? 109-35.
V is for victory.
I mean, that's about 5 victories rolled into one, I guess.
Goodness.
It really only counts for one. Goodness gracious.
Don't be picking on those kids like that, man.
I felt bad for them. Really. I felt bad for them. I mean, there's all sorts of jokes you can throw around. I mean, it was University of Maryland Eastern Shore, UMass, and it was a mess for them. I didn't watch too much of it, listened to a little bit, driving around, had some things to do with the kids, but man, 28-point scoring run, 74-point lead at one point, 60 points in the first quarter, and it kind of felt like you might not even allow 30 in a full game, so... I don't know if this is the biggest margin of victory in Razorback history. I can't imagine that it isn't at least close, but it's the biggest difference between two teams I've ever seen on a basketball floor, Matt.
Yeah, University of need to change your major because those guys, you better be make sure you're going to class because I don't think basketball is going to be in your future.
Yeah, it might be the only time a few of the guys
maybe be a coach, maybe a coach, but I don't know if they're going to make a living playing the game.
Well, you're hearing people talk about the game, looking at rankings and everything. Really, this is potentially one of the worst programs in the history of college basketball that's coming into Bud Walton Arena, and then it ended up turning into a laugher from the very start. But hey, it's a win, right? It's a win. Celebrate the wins. You got a tougher game coming up on Thursday against Illinois. I'm trying to think like the worst final score I've seen in a game. Heck, didn't we have a what was the final score of the UAPB football game this year?
Like 70-0.
Wasn't that? That's the worst I've ever seen for football.
Florida State used to beat some folks back in the day when Charlie Ward, that 92, you'd see them play North Carolina State or North Carolina, and it would be 67-3. And it would be the Hurricanes used to do some of that too back there in the old Big East. But those are kind of some of the biggest lopsided matches that I remember.
Quentin says it's the third biggest victory in Arkansas.
Heck, that 49er San Diego Chargers Super Bowl, was that like 55-3? It was just an absolute beatdown.
Heck, yeah, the Lions have been beating down some teams
of late
too. Scores you don't usually see in the NFL. I mean, there's going to be discrepancies between a program like Arkansas and a program like UMass. It's just jarring to see this. I called a 21-0 baseball game once.
Ooh.
That was pretty. That's
pretty
nasty.
21-0. Christian to know this. See gamer over here, Phil. So whenever you're on the game and once the score gets 21-0, it's called a twankfish, and that means you got to give up the controller.
Yeah.
Oh, I love learning new terminology. I have no idea how I could ever throw that into a conversation.
When it's 21-0.
What is this one again? You have to describe this again.
You got to get off the controller. That's it. When the game's 21-0, everybody that's a gamer, everybody knows that's the rule. That's when it's 21-0. If there's a line, there's people waiting. Next guy up.
All right. Well, I'm not a gamer. Matt is not a gamer. C unit, C gamer. What is this term again? So I can throw it in there to a broadcast at some point. Hopefully, it won't get me in trouble because it sounded like something that
twankfish. It's not.
It's one of those. That is a word that's one of those words that sounds dirty, but really
it's 21-0. That's what it means.
Twankfish. Well, I got a gamer in his bedroom right now. I'm sure he's playing. Never know what it is he's going to play. It could be MLB The Show. It could be Forza because he likes to race and put these cars together. But then every once in a while he does Farm Simulator, which. I don't know if you can. There wouldn't be like a twankfish for Farm Simulator because it's just one person trying to do something. Yeah, it's about right.
That's good though. Look at him go. That's kind of like something cool. I mean, it's good to know how to, if you're going to have any type of garden, but it's good to know what you're putting in your body, all that type of stuff. Start young.
Yeah, and know how to run a combine before you ever even. He never even knew what a combine was before he started doing this.
Sifting wheat.
109-35. Won't see a game like that the rest of the year. It's just shocking. And you got these guys who are you got basically a team of 9 players, right? Like 9 players. It's your rotation. And I wondered as their lead began to grow. And again, I wasn't watching because truthfully, when there's a 28-point run in the first half, I mean So sure, it can be a dunk show, it can be a highlight show, and all those sorts of things. And maybe that is fun to watch. Probably would have been, but wouldn't have circled that game yesterday as the one that you have to watch. Now I will do everything I possibly can to watch Thursday's game after the CBS football game, which I'm assuming is the Lions. because then they'll pop that on right after that. And Illinois is good, so I mean, I guess just fun to watch the guys go out and have what felt like a little bit of a scrimmage. So Carter Knox goes out with 21, Billy Richmond off the bench 14. Nice job. And they want to know the attendance number. Quentin sends in what the attendance was. It's a sellout. I mean, every game's a sellout. I don't know what the actual attendance will ever be. It's just every box score for home games will say 19,200 because we're going by tickets sold. I guess they used to give what my old boss used to refer to as the smaller number with the Travelers. And I think the baseball team, when I started doing games at Arkansas, did give you today's tickets sold, today's actual attendance. But I don't think anybody really gives you the actual attendance anymore. Bill told us to stop doing that. And then he found out that some of the writers that were covering games would figure, well, why are you doing this? We actually have a game to cover. They were counting heads in the stands. I actually thought that the story should be what's happening on the field or on the court. But it turns out that part of it is what's happening in the stands. And, I mean, I guess that's part of the story for this Arkansas basketball team as well. I don't know if you saw that. Now, again, you get the Maui Invitational going, and there was just a legendary throwdown game yesterday between Memphis and defending champion UConn. Went into overtime. Memphis wins at 99-97. And, the game is one thing, but I think Dan Hurley's postgame, not just his postgame, but what he was, you could use the word antics, I think. You can only reserve the word antics for something that feels just like, look at me, or just acting out, just gaining all sorts of attention. You get somebody that does antics, and I think Drinkwitz does some antics sometimes. Maybe not quite to the level of Hurley yesterday, where it looked like he fell down protesting a call, and then had about a minute of wondering, are there many coaches that will talk like this, or is it the freedom of winning back-to-back national champions where you feel you can just sort of criticize the officials ad nauseum? Listen.
But I had a lot of issues with what went on out there in the game. That over the back call at that point of the game, there was no attempt to block out. There was a player on Memphis that made a half-ass effort to rebound that basketball, and Liam McNeely high-pointed that rebound. For that call to be made at that point in the game was a complete joke, all right? And then for me, I don't know what happened. I might have lost my balance by the absurdity of the call, or maybe I tripped. But if I made that call at that point, I would have ignored the fact that I was on my back. If I made that call, I would have ignored that. That was a major, obviously a major. How you could call that while that game was going on, the way that game was going on, is just beyond me. But I know, I've never seen the one ref before. I didn't even know he was a college ref, and then. I'm familiar with the other two, so I'm not surprised.
They went just short of actually using the officials' names and calling them out there. But if you're on the court, if you fall down protesting a call, my guess is they're probably gonna tee you up. I think he also referred to one of the officials as an effing idiot. Might have been right to his face. And Hurley, he gets a little animated. Just like Muss too, and he would get the tease every once in a while too. But hey, great game, 99-97 in overtime, and a lot of emotion from, you got to say right now, America's best college basketball coach. The Maui Invitational, Matt, always entertains. You remember Muss going up against the San Diego State fans a couple years ago? And that got more headlines than the game, and that was a great game too. It's this Hurley thing is kind of the same thing.
You never get used to losing, but it does seem like he hadn't lost a whole lot in a while, and he didn't know how to take it a little bit. Where you got, I mean, it's the Maui. I didn't see the play. He's probably closer to right than wrong if I was to, but I hadn't seen it yet. But it sounded like he hadn't had a lot of L's in a while, and he didn't like the taste of that one.
It's also funny, like, hearing him talk. Well, if it was my call, if I was making this call and I was on the floor and he's saying me as the coach, I wouldn't make that call either. I wouldn't call that either. It's like, coaches putting themselves in officials' clothing. I don't really think you can look at it from an unbiased perspective like that. Anyway, it's just fun to play Dan Hurley stuff and then just wonder what that would. Remember, he was going to be the Lakers coach. He was maybe going to be Kentucky's coach. I get you'll take it with the wins, right? You would take it with the wins, but I just don't know if I see that necessarily working in either one of those situations. All right, again, halftime today. We don't have Grant Hall tomorrow, so we'll have him in the next segment. Alyssa Orange is doing what a lot of other parents are doing today, which also includes my kids with their grandmother going to see Wicked with the little ones. So we don't have Alyssa. We'll be talking instead with Courtney Mims, who, congratulations, Courtney, is one of the finalists for the NMSA Arkansas Sportscaster of the Year, along with Steve Sullivan and David Basil. So congratulations to Courtney, and we'll bring that up with her when we talk with her as well. And I did get a text from Bill King. He says we're good to go. All right, very good. And your calls and texts as we go throughout halftime today at 877-377-6963. We'll have Grant Hall in just a moment.
Certainly, this is a special time. Even happy Thanksgiving to Brian and Ozark.
This is halftime.
5 seconds to go. Matt, right side. Three-pointer on the way. No good. Close with the dunk at the buzzer.
On ESPN Arkansas, download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
It's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got coffee.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting. From the earliest odds to in-game live betting, BetOnline provides you with all the action and the ability to watch the games as they happen. With the largest selection of odds on everything from football, NBA, and college basketball, NHL to UFC and MMA. Head to BetOnline today to get in on the action with America's most trusted site for online wagering. BetOnline, the game starts here.
Hey, ESPN 96.3 and HitThatLine.com. Have you been to Swark Liquor? Trey Gentry and his team have a phenomenal spot. It's the first liquor stop in Arkansas for our Dallas and Texas fans traveling up to the hill. So if you're heading to Fayetteville, the lake, a cabin weekend, hunting, fishing, or any other activity you need your favorite drink, stop by Swark Liquor. And check out their apparel too. You'll want to wear it. Swark Liquor, 864 East Colin Ray Drive into Queen, Arkansas. Swark Liquor, we promise to keep them cold for you.
Hey everybody, this is Tyson Van. Dad, tell everyone about your job at Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash.
Power washing, son. I've been working in the business for over 15 years, all over the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas, residential or commercial. At Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash, our cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, pool deck cleansing, and more.
Call my dad at 479-763-5561.
Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call cleans it all.
On ESPN.
At Dobson Fiber, we're helping you build stronger connections by bringing the fastest internet network available to your business. Why fiber? Fiber internet provides reliable, symmetrical, blazing speeds. Without any interruptions or buffering, you can rely on Dobson for all your data needs. With Dobson Fiber as your premium internet provider, you can focus on the things that matter and the connections you build. To see if fiber is available to you, visit Dobson.net. Dobson Fiber, building stronger connections. Here's to you and yours from the friendly folks at In Good Spirits, your upscale liquor store in Fort Smith. At In Good Spirits, they've got what your taste buds are craving, including flavorful wines from around the world, scrumptious brandies and liqueurs, tempting whiskeys and beers, and fine cigars. Treat yourself to the best as you listen to the game. Check out In Good Spirits, 12100 Highway 71 South, across from Riley Farms in Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
I've been misunderstanding you for too long. Oh, how your love flowers in the windows of the sun might not make much sense, but I'll tell you now. Are you funny? I like it.
Find Halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Join the conversation. Call or text 877-377-6963. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Oh, let's see. Just some things to think about from this game last night. Knox and Richmond can score coming off the bench against lower competition. Thero, just outstanding. Ivicic, very good. Things that matter to me, though. Trevin Brazil, able to dress and look great, but at least he was out there playing. Jonas Adu, not dressed. Got to get him back. First and foremost, those are the two most important things going on right now. Good thing to see Nelly Davis have the shot, though. 4 for 7 long range, 16 points. That means something, too. Grant Hall's with us. He means something to us. We don't usually have him on Wednesdays, but he's out tomorrow, so we got him today instead. Grant, how you doing?
Buenos tacos, as Abe Lemons used to say.
Buenos tacos because it's Taco Tuesday? Is that the way you're putting it?
Well, he said a lot of funny things. You know, he would say, he said, I don't jog because I want to be sick when I die.
That way, I can understand that one too. Now I'd look at it on the other side of things. I would like, if the last few years of my life were about being sick, let's just cut those years off.
Abe used to, you know, they had to walk through construction a couple of years in a row to get to old Barnhill Arena, and it rained, and every year it was muddy, and he would say, they'll keep that mud here, you know.
I love thinking about that idea. The idea that they actually made him walk outside to go to the basketball gym. Anything that stands out from last night's game other than the final score and some of the things I just mentioned?
Well, we got to see 4 new players finally at the end, including, you know, he'd been saying they may play this Casimir, is that his name? Casimir Chavis, as I'm saying his name right, freshman from Minneapolis, and then actually 3 more guys after that. So they got to play in a game that was it was not the largest margin of victory, surprisingly enough, that Arkansas has ever had. But, you know, it was interesting to me, Phil, that they announced after the game that fans could stay and listen to Calipari on the radio, except he didn't come out and do it. And he also didn't do the post-game. He had Chen Coleman do that, who was very good, by the way. But they said, I was told that he wanted to go ahead and get watching tape of Illinois, and maybe he saw that score, 92-38, was it, over a Little Rock team that Arkansas had just beaten in the teens or something. So, they've got that one at 3:00 Thursday on CBS, which is an interesting thing for CBS to be doing on Turkey football Thanksgiving Thursday, is having basketball. And he wants, and it's interesting because Coleman was an assistant on Brad Underwood's staff at one time. So he said, I know all of his tricks. And I don't know what you say about a game like that, except it was good to see Carter Knox and Richmond, have the games they had.
Grant, speaking of that Illinois game, what does Illinois do well? What are you looking for? Is this a good matchup or a bad matchup for the Hogs?
Well, they talked about the big guys are really good. The twin brother of Ivisic, if I'm saying his name right, is very good. Now, the brother is about 10 or 15 pounds heavier, plays with his back to the basket. He's left-handed, not right-handed like Arkansas's guy. Both of them are good passers, but it's funny, Chin Coleman was talking about Arkansas's guy has been saying he's been talking some smack, about his big brother, maybe to him or something. So I'm sure they're having fun with it. But it's a notable game for both of them, obviously.
Just got to try to, I think the games that against Michigan, against Illinois, these are going to be tough games until you get your guys healthy. It's a matter of, I don't know, if you don't have the guy that was supposed to be your enforcer in the middle, and I think Thiero also can be like that. It's just he doesn't quite, he's not a 5 or a 4 necessarily the way that I think Adu can be inside defensively. But it's almost like we got to hold serve in a way and find a way to mitigate those problems because you're going to need these players in the SEC.
Yeah. Brazil, played a little bit last night, and he was asking out some. You get out of condition pretty quickly, not playing like that. And then Coleman did say that Adu was he said he was day to day. Now, you can be day to day, week to week, month to month, and year to year. I guess I don't know what that means exactly. If that means he might play some against Illinois, but. You would think
some of this, I'm likening that almost, and who knows what it'll be like in a couple of months. But, Jalen Braxton, all right? Braxton has been the most important injury to the football team this year, just in the idea of having someone who looked like he could be a lockdown corner. And what has he played? 2 games, if that, I think. But that's it. And you've been waiting all season long for him to come back, and that's turned into an issue. I mean, secondary played well enough against Texas, but they've had to change their alignment and the way that they their basic plan defensively. And you just hope that that's not what happens here with Adu because that is the kind of injury that can last a while.
Sam was asked about Braxton again, and he's not playing this week, and he only played 2 games this year. Now, there are some guys, Selman Bridges, he is a freshman cornerback who had, I think, some shoulder repair. He's practicing this week. Sam mentioned that, Kobe Branham, sharp-eyed Razorback fans noticed him playing on goal line situations. He's a freshman from Fort Smith Southside, about 330. Sam has been working with those young offensive linemen this year, so he would know better than anyone how they're coming along. And he said that he should be able to compete for a starting job at guard in the spring. Collins, another guy, defensive lineman from Pine Bluff, you may see. And so, even though it's practically the end of the season, obviously, you're always having these personnel things. I think it's interesting that Missouri's favored by 3.5 points. Matt, does it feel like to you that there should be more like 13 or 14 based on past history?
Yeah, I asked Phil yesterday, I said, how many times has Coach Pittman beat Missouri? And he said once, so it gave me a little hope. Yeah, Grant, I think that it's an interesting matchup where what Razorback team's going to show up. And we kind of got onto this yesterday about being consistent. And is the Razorback team going to show up play defense like you did against Texas, and is the offense going to show up and not have 3 turnovers? So I don't know what Razorback team's going to show up there. Missouri going for a 10-win season. They win this game. That's 9. They win their bowl game 10. 10-win seasons are special. I something, but Vegas, they keep building those buildings taller, so they probably know something I don't.
That's right. Well, an interesting aspect of it too is there's a possibility of snow. They talk maybe even like an inch by the end of the game. Maybe it'll hold off. I don't know, but as Sam said, Missouri is more used to that kind of weather in games than Arkansas would be. It seems like it gets warmer and warmer here. In the past, we can remember some really cold games and snowy games, but that's one thing. And then just the series itself and playing on Saturday. Now like on Thanksgiving, instead of everybody kind of doing it as a team and being there for the Friday games through the years, these guys are going to be with their families in some cases. Some of them traveling a little bit, some with assistant coaches. That's going to be different. But as Sam said, it hadn't worked out too well on Friday. Maybe it can be better on Saturday when Arkansas has really seldom played over the last 32, 33 years, just a few times, I think, at this part of the season on Saturday. So who knows? Maybe that'll be better for them.
So, if Arkansas wins 4-4 in the SEC, Vandy's got a chance to finish it the same if they pull off a home upset against Tennessee. And, hey, we've seen a team do that this year too. If that happens, Grant, that means there will be 12 SEC teams that finished at 500 or above in the league. And, that would leave Oklahoma, Auburn, Kentucky, and Mississippi State as the only teams in this league with losing SEC records. We talk so much about what it looks like at the top of the league and maybe in the middle because of the idea of parity and the transfer portal and NIL changing things around, especially in the SEC, I think, comparatively to the other leagues where you don't see so many 3 or 2 loss teams that are competing. And, there's only one team in this league right now that has just 1 loss in the SEC. So I just, there's so much focus on the top and the middle, but even in the middle bottom of the SEC, you got teams that could finish 500 that just aren't used to finishing 500.
Yeah, and there are years when if you went 4-4, you'd be a lot higher than that in the standings. I think Arkansas has only had 7 winning SEC records in all the time in the SEC. They've had some, at 500, but so 500 would be something of an accomplishment. I think I saw yesterday or the day before that the top 6 strength of schedules in the country are all SEC schools. And so you get this debate now that you're going to have about, are you going to have a 3-loss SEC? And I think you probably will, because I think the SEC will get 4, and only 3 of them have 2 or fewer losses. So that, don't you think that, guy? Don't you think the SEC?
Texas, Georgia, Tennessee, I think are locks. If A&M beats Texas, I think they play themselves in. I don't know. Is it Bama or Ole Miss? Who do you like better?
Alabama.
Or would you weight South Carolina's win over Clemson better?
Yeah, I hadn't even thought about South Carolina in that. Alabama, I saw a thing today that their figures are a lot better than Ole Miss in terms of, like Ole Miss has lost some teams with some losses, this year. Alabama would probably have a better chance in that scenario to get in. It's interesting. There are 21 state rivalry games this weekend. With and not necessarily, like you got Texas A&M for the first time in years, Arizona State, all the ones I even tend to think of Michigan, Ohio State, even as a state rivalry, even though it's not, but it's a traditional game, And some of them are kind of bogus, like San Jose State and Stanford. But I'm counting all of them. Teams within states playing each other. There are 21 of them this week. And, of course, Arkansas, unless they were to play Arkansas State at the end of the season sometime, that's probably not going to happen. But Missouri is a border state, and that's what Arkansas's got.
Grant, we'll leave it there. Hope you have a great Thanksgiving. Always appreciate you coming on with us and looking forward to doing it again next week.
Okay, same to you guys. See you.
Happy Thanksgiving, Grant.
Grant Hall with us Wednesdays. Let's just turn this into a Wednesday today, because honestly, it's like Today's more like our Thursday since tomorrow's the last day of the week for us here on Halftime, so I don't know what to call it. It's 5 days a week normally, just 3 days a week here. Also want to remind you about Crabtree RV Center in Alma. That's the dealership you've been heading over to, and you've got ideas for big-time adventures for the family. They've got an RV on lot that fits you perfectly. Find them at the junction of I-40 and I-49 right beside the Cracker Barrel in Alma and online at crabtreerv.com. Calls and texts to Halftime come in at 877-377-6963. We're going to come right back after this.
This is Halftime. You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line now.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code BUY to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code BUY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code BUY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
You're listening to Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Ready to explore beyond the beaten path? Discover the Range Rover lineup at Land Rover of Little Rock. Experience handcrafted luxury with the capability to take on any adventure. The elegant Range Rover offers unmatched performance and first-class luxury. The Range Rover is built for every journey. Visit Land Rover of Little Rock today and explore our incredible Range Rover selection. Plus, take advantage of our promotions and recently revamped service department. Visit us at 25 Colonel Glenn Plaza Drive or log on at LandRoverLittleRock.com.
At Shelter Insurance, we believe insurance should adjust to fit your needs. That's why we work with you to design an auto, home, and life insurance plan that's particular to you. Insurance that fits just right. And Shelter is known for our award-winning customer service, satisfied customers, and a plan for you. Ready to check us out? Shelter Insurance. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
See Agent Randy Milam in Alma or Agent Brandon Zimmerman in Barland.
This is Coke Zero Sugar. Could I be the best Coke ever? Try and taste with your ears. Hear those bubbles? Imagine them tingling on your tongue. Fizzy deliciousness. Listen to that cascading liquid. A mouth-watering waterfall. Irresistibly tasty. Zero sugar. Crisp, refreshing, and ice cold. Is Coke Zero Sugar the best Coke ever? Try and decide.
At Our Best Bank, we believe in the power of community. That's why we recognize, serve, and support communities of all kinds. From small towns to big cities, business startups to large companies, young families to seniors, and those with shared backgrounds and interests. We value your contributions and are proud to work alongside you because every community deserves a financial partner who cares. Our Best Bank. We believe.
'Tis the season for Hardee's handcrafted goodness. Made from scratch buttermilk biscuits pulled fresh from the oven. The return of special traditions like salty sweet candied bacon. And faithful friends like Hardee's cinnamon raisin biscuits gathered near to us and served all day, all season long. From icing drizzled biscuits to savory charbroiled burgers, unwrap the holiday goodness of Hardee's. And now enjoy breakfast till noon. Available for limited time at participating locations. Items may vary.
World-class trout fishing is the star of the show at Gaston's White River Resort, where a few days away from all the worries and stress will make all right in your world. Gaston's has friendly, experienced guides to help you land your limit. Enjoy your stay at Gaston's in one of their private cottages or reserve a lodge for up to 20 people. Call now and let Gaston's help you plan your next getaway on the White River. 870-431-5202. That's 870-431-5202. Or learn more at Gastons.com. Gaston's, a first-class time, every time.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
I'm lost in admiration. This wasting time.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Saw some folks on social media yesterday thinking that they could have found 5 players in the hyper that could have given Maryland Eastern Shore a good game based on what they saw yesterday. And we got a text in from Jerry in Tucker Hollow that asks about the purpose of playing a cream puff that he thinks a good high school team can beat. More than anything, like, I don't know if that game necessarily helps your program very much. It pads the stats a little bit. It's a win. But what it is it fills, I think, a hole in the schedule. Remember how Cal Matt was talking when he took the job, and there have been moments in the offseason that he would remind you about this. Walk into the locker room, where's the team? Here's the team, nobody's there. Don't even have a schedule outside of what you got from the SEC. So there had to be a hole in the schedule. And at that point, you go to your scheduler and say, we have to have a game, and it needs to be on this date. I need you to go find somebody that needs a game and is willing to take X amount of dollars to do it. That's what that's about. I mean, that's kind of just keeping, like, a program like UMass, that's how they keep the athletic department afloat.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, get you a lather, break you a sweat, have fun, keep a smile on your face, stay healthy. I'm interested in this game on Thursday. I mean, I think Illinois, from all the metrics and from just being a kind of a top tier program, they're just right there below in the Big Ten. They're pretty solid most of the time. That's going to be a good challenge. And the thing about Big Ten teams is they're going to be a little more physical. That'd be good for us to see if we want to bang how our guards play against their guards. So that's more of a game I'll be looking forward to get my eyes on.
High scoring team too, Matt. Let's see, they're 5-1. 5 out of the 6 games, they have scored 87 points or more. And the only team that's been able to even eclipse 70 against them is Alabama. That's their one loss, 100-87. And I'd forgotten that Big Z's brother is on Illinois. There he is. His name is Tomislav. You think they call him Big T because it's difficult to say his last name? Get Big T versus Big Z. And, of course, we've got Big C in the studio, too. It all works, even though we never call him that here on Halftime. There's our hype man all of a sudden. That's right. Different kind of player, though, too, right? Like, we think of Big Z, you think, well, here's a guy who's going to be able to shoot some threes. Not too much back to the hoop. A little bit of it, but not too much. It looks like his twin brother is kind of the back to the hoop kind of guy. They can shoot the three a little bit, but not at the rate of his brother. So we just had the Har Bowl. This would be, what do you call this game? I mean, it's Arkansas versus Illinois, but we have to have a nickname for the brothers going against each other. I don't know where to go, but there's got to be another nickname out there for it. And I mean, how do these guys celebrate Thanksgiving normally? It's just Thursday to them in Croatia, so Go out and have yourself a good game.
Yeah, they'll get to guard each other a little bit. That's got to be pretty cool. Are they close to the same age? I wonder if they were on the same high school team. Are they actually twin brothers?
I think they're twins.
Okay, well there you go. So they'll get to play against each other. That'd be pretty special.
Well, so if they're twins, and I'm not going to say they look identical. Let me double check here the photo of Big Z that we've got on the roster page at Arkansas Razorbacks. Forget what number he wears. There he is, number 44. Hey, we thought we were going to have a number 44 yesterday for our show. So Big Z is 7'2", 245. Big T is 7'1", 230. So there's an inch difference in 15 pounds for the twins, who do not look identical. So I would imagine that if they were identical, they would have to be the same height and the exact same weight, right down to the kilogram.
Whoever Mama Z is and Mama T is, which it's the same lady, but I bet her grocery bill, oh my goodness.
Oh, yeah, no kidding.
Feeding those two horses, wow.
That's cool, though, to see a couple of twins going at it against each other. I guess we would have had that last year when Little Rock and Arkansas played, because you had the Mitchell twins.
It was pretty cool.
They
What
were
was that?
teammates for a moment.
3 years ago when they got to and they earned it. It wasn't given, but they both got to start on their birthday, and that was pretty cool.
So, all right, I'd forgotten which game that's after. You know, I'm still trying to figure out what I'm going to do on Thursday in terms of how far can I sleep in? Like, that's just a thing I'm not very good at. My son can teach me how to do this. I'm still getting up. Like, the kids don't have school this week. I'm still up at 6:15 just because I can't sleep any longer. Thursday, Matt, it has to be about finding a way to stay in bed after 8 o'clock. And not just, like, staying in bed and turning the television on and saying, all right, I'm in bed. I need to actually sleep past 8 o'clock. And then I got to figure out, because I'll be over with my kids and the ex for Thanksgiving, with some of her mom's friends and a couple other people, and there was, well, what are you? I don't want to show up empty-handed. I know you said bring a bottle of wine, but I need to cook something, and I have no idea what it is to cook. And here's the other aspect of this: I usually do like cooking. For some reason, in my mind right now, I have no interest in actually putting any effort forward. So I don't even know why I asked. Have no idea. I just did it to be nice. That's all it was about.
Pick something up from the fresh market, maybe. I mean, just kind of zip in there and
make it look like I made it myself.
There might be a little side dish, yeah.
Maybe go get some Walmart cookies and tell them I slaved all day over these things.
No, get a bottle of grape juice like an adult and go over there, and everybody will have a good time.
There's enough people where I need to bring probably 2 bottles of
there you go.
Super grape
little
juice.
merriment.
Yeah, they'll be happy with that, and then I don't have to worry about it. Now there was a person who I used to work with at the Travelers, and I was not part of these Thanksgivings because I was doing family Thanksgivings then. And they all had, like, it was a Friendsgiving, people that worked for the team, and one guy would bring in something that would be referred to as special. And what do you think is a special recipe? These days, you know, if you have the right sort of medical card, you can go in and get some of these very special things. But back then, like, nobody's going into the dispensary and buying special green bean casserole. That's what this guy would make, and not even tell them that that's what was in it. It's really, I'm very happy I was not invited to those Thanksgivings, because do you imagine just like sitting down to a regular Thanksgiving meal, and all of a sudden 2 hours later, the room starts spinning and you have no earthly idea why it is doing that. And I just had 1 glass of wine. What's going on here? Bears-Lions are your CBS games. So then you get the Razorbacks and Illinois Fighting Illini after that too. SEC versus Big Ten, good stuff. This was the game that Cal, I kind of feel like he told you, he's looking for television partner. How many SEC teams will actually be on CBS this year? You used to have a game every weekend. Not anymore. They're showing Big Ten. They're not showing SEC basketball. This is all about Cal. Is it about Arkansas? Is it about Illinois? Sure, it's about both of them, but it's really about Cal. If he wasn't the coach, you're playing somewhere sunny. Well, maybe it will be sunny in Kansas City on Thanksgiving, but it's going to be freaking cold. You'd be down in, I don't know, Cancun. That's where Brett Dolan is located. We'll talk to him tomorrow. He's calling games over there. The women's basketball team's going to Daytona. They've been to the Bahamas. I mean, heck, you must took them to Maui. I don't know if you do that sort of stuff when you're coached by John Calipari. You go play in some big arena in a major city in the United States. He's got his, it feels like it's his television partner in a sense here with CBS that wants to have his team on there. And I don't think it would matter who it is. It would have to just be, some school out of a power league, but just take your pick. Because I don't think Illinois is necessarily the attraction here. I think it's the coach of the Razorbacks that's the attraction, and people be tuning in, but I don't think he'll give you quite the show personally that Dan Hurley gave last night in Maui, Hawaii. 877-377-6963 to get with us on halftime. Don't forget about Joe's Grill and Cantina because you're already doing so much cooking this week. It's Taco Tuesday today at Joe's Grill and Cantina, and that means $1 crispy beef or chicken tacos all day long. You also get the pork carnita tacos for $2.95. Pork belly or brisket tacos are $3.95, and you can bring the whole family over there on Saturday to watch the Razorback football game. There'll be half-price apps and half-price taps during the game, plus endless enchiladas and $15 pitchers of beer, margaritas, and sangrias all day Saturday. That's Joe's Grill and Cantina. They're right at 74th in Fort Smith, across from Harps, and online at joesfortsmith.com. We'll break. We'll come back to wrap up hour number 1 of halftime in just a moment.
You ain't heard nothing. Wait a minute, I tell you. You ain't heard nothing.
This is halftime.
Ready to explore beyond the beaten path? Discover the Range Rover lineup at Land Rover of Little Rock. Experience handcrafted luxury with the capability to take on any adventure. The elegant Range Rover offers unmatched performance and first-class luxury. The Range Rover is built for every journey. Visit Land Rover of Little Rock today and explore our incredible Range Rover selection. Plus, take advantage of our promotions and recently revamped service department. Visit us at 25 Colonel Glenn Plaza Drive or log on at LandRoverLittleRock.com.
When you're clocking out and happy hour's already started. But you're clocking out and happy hour's already started. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Pick up Bud Light at your local convenience store today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Do you need an attorney that you can actually speak with? You need Hickey & Hull Law Partners. The attorneys at Hickey & Hull understand the importance of client communication and are taking the time to meet you, respond to emails, and return calls. Every case is important, and they strive to give each one the time and attention it deserves. Call today, 479-434-2414, or visit them online at kevinhickeylaw.com. Hickey & Hull Law Partners. Things are about to get better.
Presented by Sharp Equipment. The merger of two good companies brings together strengths to make one great company. Regerson is now Sharp Equipment. Even though it will no longer have Joe, Jesse, or Sheila as they go off on another adventure, the foundation they have laid is now a strong asset along with Sharp Equipment to complement its offerings to their great customers. Sharp Equipment would like to thank the Taylors and look forward to continuing to serve the River Valley and beyond. Stop in at 5608 Wheeler Avenue and see what all Sharp Equipment has to offer.
Who can you trust to sell your home for the most money with the least amount of drama? You need a team of agents with decades of experience, commitment, and of course, tens of thousands in marketing. I'm talking about the Limbird team. Tara Limbird, Limbird Real Estate Group, has sold over $1 billion in real estate. Tara's team can give you a cash offer in 72 hours, or use Tara's high-octane marketing to sell your home quite possibly for thousands over asking. Find out more at LimbirdTeam.com. LIMBIRD.
Whether it's torque, horsepower, or just extreme work, diesel trucks do their job. But when your diesel truck needs maintenance or repair, it's time to head to Extreme Diesel. Everything from standard maintenance to extreme repairs, including injector testing. Extreme Diesel delivers. They have the tools and service for your Cummins, Duramax, or Power Stroke. You trust your truck to deliver on your needs, and you can trust your truck at Extreme Diesel. 6630 Alma Highway between Van Buren and Alma. Check them out on Facebook or give them a call at 651-3363. They're bilingual, now offering CP4 solutions for both Chevy and Ford.
The best things never change, they just get better. Like Hardee's Original Bag, just $6.99. Choose from juicy charbroiled double cheeseburgers, melty hot ham and cheeses, or hand-breaded chicken tender wraps. 2 full-size favorites plus fries and a drink, all just $6.99. There's no skimping in this bag. No junior burgers or tiny nuggies, just full-size goodness for big-time value. The $6.99 Original Bag, only at Hardee's. These items only, tax not included. Price and participation may vary.
This is Daryl Johnston with Hashtag Managed IT Services. We are excited to now be part of AAA Business Systems. Hashtag will continue to handle every IT need your business will have, and now, as part of AAA Business Systems, we can handle all of your document printing and storage solutions. Together, we have the expertise to meet all of your office technology needs. Find us online at aaabm.com or call us at 471-1771.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Nobody cares where you're from. We wanna have so much fun. Anybody can tell ya. Will you remember tomorrow when the thought perishes and you forget cheese up on the ladder? Is there anyone matter?
Welcome back into Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Studios. Crabtree RV Center in Alma, where we make your dreams come true.
Carl in Fayetteville told me, Matt, that if I really wanted to sleep a little more, if I get up at 6, if I shotgun some beers, I'll have no trouble falling back asleep. Part of the problem is then 30 minutes later, I'm getting up to pee, and then 30 more minutes getting up to pee, and all of that. The whole idea is trying to stay asleep, Carl. So I'm not sure if your advice will work for me, but I do appreciate the effort. 877-377-6963. Matt Jones didn't have much trouble staying asleep. What time of the day are you usually up?
Well, 6:30, 45, 7-ish, but I'm in bed by 10 o'clock, Carson at 9, and I'm usually, and now coming up, I'll have to work a lot of, midnight shifts here.
That's right. We got a lot of late Saturday basketball games that you'll be on the post game.
And I'm a creature of habit. I kind of get into a little routine. I've been into a nice little routine lately, but it's about to change. That's for sure.
Well, everybody's routines will be changing now because now we get our cold front coming in here, and the outdoors are just not quite as nice. So just have to try to get out and get a little, just moving around a little bit. If maybe that'll help me fall asleep.
My alarm is set for 8:39, but I don't ever make it to my alarm. That's the thing. It's like I don't like to hear my alarm go off, but I'm usually up in the 7 o'clock hour. Let me
ask this: do you need to set the alarm to
for
wake
peace
up
of mind?
earlier?
No, just so I have it. I'm let's say since I've had this job, since we've been doing this show together, maybe my alarms went off 3 times the entire that it's actually woke me up.
I don't know how I did this, but I must have programmed my brain to work so well for that. Even when I was in Los Angeles and had to wake up at like 4:30 to host the pregame show, if I set an alarm at 4:30, I will be up at 4:29.
Nice.
I wonder how long I can continue this because this can't last. This is peak adulting.
Do you have a buzzer that goes off, or do you have it playing music when your alarm goes off?
It's kind of making the
chime,
that one. The one that you hear echoing throughout the hotel when people just don't realize that they can lower the volume on it and still wake up. Why doesn't everybody else have this body clock thing that I have? Would have helped nicely if I would have done that back in the day and not gotten fired from the baseball team I was working for when I was 19 years old because I didn't wake up in time. But hey, I wasn't peak adulting at 19. Took until about, I got about like this, maybe like 42 or 43. Once I get into my 50s and 60s, though, sleeping in is going to be just natural. Sleep all through those because really the thing I'm thinking of when I wake up in the morning, the first thing in my mind is, oh gosh, I got to do 3 hours of radio today, and I don't want to sound like an idiot. And then somebody's listening right now and said, you failed already. Stay with us. We go into hour number 2, 877-377-6963. We'll talk with Courtney Mims from Pig Trail Nation, and we also have Bill King on the schedule for some college football talk at 1:15. Yep, we got our CFP poll released tonight. The chaos of the weekend will lead to pretty chaotic-looking Tuesday evening poll and stay with Halftime. We are back after the break.
Brothers Roofing and Restoration, a licensed and insured local roofing contractor in Arkansas. Since his playing days for the Hogs, Brother Alexander has been on rooftops, many years as an adjuster, and in the past decade as a roofing contractor. He knows how to help you through the insurance process while replacing your roof using only the industry's best materials. And being a lifelong Arkansan, he'll be here to stand behind his workmanship and warranty. Call 479-353-3877 to arrange a time for Brother and his team to inspect your roof.
At AOG, our main goal is to deliver reliable energy to your home safely. And keeping our team members, customers, and community safe starts with awareness. Natural gas has a distinctive, strong odor, often compared to rotten eggs or sulfur. If you smell gas, leave your home immediately. Go to a safe location and call 911. In addition to AOG, remember, if you smell gas, act fast and always call 811 before you dig. To learn more about natural gas safety, visit AOGC.com. AOG, energy for life.
Catch your wife kissing Santa Claus, whose real name is Bobby from down the street? Want to know your rights in a divorce, custody, child support case? I'm Jackie Mock with Mock Legal Solutions. Call me today to discuss your options. Start the new year off with a new lease on life for you, and let Santa have her. Mock Legal Solutions, 479-769-1505. Real advice, reasonable price.
Precision Garage Door features the finest quality materials, installation, and service for all your garage door needs, including garage door repair and new garage doors and openers. Fully licensed and insured with the largest showroom in Northwest Arkansas at 1907 Town West Drive in Rogers and in Fort Smith at 416 North 10th Street. Call Precision Garage Door today at 844-PDS-DOOR or check them out online at PrecisionDoorNWA.com. Financing is available. Precision Garage Door, voted best garage door company of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley.
This is Ty from ESPN Arkansas. Join me Wednesday, November 27th from 4 to 6 p.m. at Square Pie Pizza Company inside Choctaw Casino. Come out and enjoy the very best Detroit-style pizza, hoagies, and delicious appetizers. Enjoy some great food. Hit the gaming room for the best entertainment in the River Valley. Wednesday, November 27th from 4 to 6 p.m. at Square Pie Pizza Company inside Choctaw Casino. Choctaw Casino. This is how Pencola plays.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, plenty of sunshine, a high this afternoon in the middle to upper 50s. We will see an increase in the cloud cover tonight. The overnight low will drop down upper 30s to low 40s. Mainly gray skies Wednesday, a high right around 60. Thanksgiving, sunny, mid 40s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Forest Green Incorporated, committed to setting the standard of excellence since 1936. You're listening to ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris, Fort Smith.
You sound like a participation trophy, Dad.
Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that's respected. Oh, ask me if I'm all right. Why can't they dominate? And we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Yeah. Take it to the dump.
Both said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. What's my hot dog? Let's go, man.
The angles were so bad, we showed them at halftime.
What they for one Razorback?
Like, what in the world were we thinking?
It's vintage Matt Jones.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Hi, and welcome back in. Halftime continues on ESPN Arkansas and HitThatLine.com. The Hit That Line Now app as well. Phil Elson with Matt Jones. Christian Johnston is producing. Talking in about 15 minutes with Courtney Mims from Pig Trail Nation. And so now's the time to get in if you want. It's 877-377-6963. 6963 to get with us. I guess we have a fare thee well for Mack Brown, the North Carolina football coach. I saw this yesterday, Matt, that he had said he's going to come back for another year, and then today North Carolina says, no, you're not. And they basically have told him, you'll coach the NC State game. We don't know necessarily about the bowl game. North Carolina is bowl eligible, and so it appears Hall of Fame coaching career will be coming to an end. Though I guess we kind of expected it would have ended after his last year at Texas. He ended up with 6 more years coaching North Carolina for a second time. Did some good things then, but a little bit of a backslide this year, and Mack Brown shown the door today.
Was it Les Miles and Mike Leach? Were they both just shades away from being able to be in the football coaching Hall of Fame? Mack Brown, he's over 50%, right? He'll be in the
654 winning percentage.
So he'll be in the football Hall of Fame. Yeah, good for him. Well, he coached anywhere else?
Well, it was North Carolina and Texas, obviously. I'd forgotten that he started his career at Tulane. Took Tulane from 1-10 his first year to 6-6 in an Independence Bowl. Parlays that into North Carolina. Had a good, I think it was a 10-year run. Then that great run at Texas, which includes their last national championship. That was just such a surprise when he took over again at North Carolina. I think he was 71 or maybe 72 years old. And he's only had one year you'd say is bad, but they've made a bowl game every single year that he's been at North Carolina. But it does feel like he said he wanted to come back. I just wonder, with the changes in college sports, if they felt now's the time to do it. This would also be one of the only instances that I can see of a major program in Division I making a change at the top when the bottom hasn't fallen out. I mean, North Carolina is right where Arkansas is, 6-5. So I'm sure that there are plenty of fans on that side that are looking to say we need a change. But mostly I think the reality is it's the bottom falling out. I think the buyout, too, for Mack is only like $4 million, which is a heck of a lot of money to me. But for buyout, not all that much. But it is interesting that he said yesterday I'm going to coach again, and today North Carolina's like, no, you're not.
Don't the rules change after this next year, whatever the iteration is with NIL and everything that's going on, the way we pay players? You got about another 12 months of it, and then everything's going to change. So maybe they want to get somebody that's ready for when this change takes place, that's, a little younger. You don't know what's going to happen, but maybe you want somebody that's going to be around for 5-7 years if you make the right hire. Do you think they do a Nick Saban deal where they give him an office it's still in the building, and he's like some type of, if it's offensive analyst, or that he's still part of the program as a figurehead?
It's a good question. I mean, he took North Carolina through one of their more successful runs before he left for the Texas job. Remember, he was on television before that. He did ESPN for, I think, the entire time between Texas and the second going at North Carolina. So maybe that's in the offering for him too. I do wonder, what kind of a coach is North Carolina looking for here? Like, is this a kind of program where you're like looking for the next Curt Cignetti to come out of Group of Five, or you're looking for a coordinator that hasn't had a job, as a head coach yet? I do wonder if, are you still at the point, Matt, where you think there are teams that are going to come after Travis Williams, maybe as a coordinator, but maybe even potentially as a head coach this year? I don't know if I'd see North Carolina quite as that level just yet, but you have to wonder about that.
Absolutely. I think Travis Williams is on his way up. It just kind of depends on what he wants to do. Does he want to be there for another year at Arkansas? But yeah, I see a head coaching job in his future. I don't know. I don't know how that you look at Barry Odom. He was a head coach, comes back as a DC, then goes and he's a head coach having success at UNLV. Is it a move like that? Kirby Smart could have taken a head coaching job before Georgia, but he was waiting for he's waiting for one of the elites. And so, there's nothing wrong with working your crafts, being a DC for another 3-4 years, and then maybe waiting for the right job. You don't just, maybe you want the right fit, you want the right move. You don't want to just go take a head coaching job just to do it. I like what he's doing here at Arkansas, and I think the he's familiar with Bobby Petrino, and they work good together. I think that I'd love to see him run it back again next year. I'd love to see him go pluck a couple guys in the portal. I like our 2 deep start. If you're just looking at our guys coming back next year, I like what we're starting with. If we can keep most of those guys, and then just go pluck out a couple more guys to put in there. And it could be the same old saying, though. We could get better, but so could every other team in the SEC get better. So, but I'd like to see him. I'd like to see him take another run at it.
That was a topic at the Sam Pittman's press conference yesterday, the idea of keeping your core players around. But one thing that wasn't asked was about keeping your core coaches around. I think you'd like to have your coordinators as well. Here's Sam on more NIL money, keeping your core players.
You have a core group of guys. Our record's 6-5, so it's not what everybody wants and all that, including me. But we do have a good core group of players that we need to return. And so we've got to do that first. And then you look in your pool and you say, okay, how much I got? Well, I got this many, this position I need. In the past, if we got 100,000, somebody else got 300,000, we're done. We're out of it. I don't care what people say. You can't talk a guy because he likes you in a $200,000 transition. By the way, if any of you guys got $200,000 more, you be gone too. Now we have it, so let's see what we can do with it.
To me, what he's telling you there, I think, is exactly what happened with Pooh Paul. Like, this school offered me this much. We can't give you that. All right, he's going to head off to somewhere else. But who are the players you'd like to keep? I mean, he was answering a question about the linebacking core, and he wants the whole linebacking core back. I would want them back, too. I wonder who it is you want staying on your offensive line. I like Nichols at center. I think your guards are probably on the way back. I do wonder about Braun, since he's walking or already walked for senior day but still has a year of eligibility. And then the tackles, I've wondered about this, too. It's like, Matt, you've talked so much about the idea of togetherness and the dance that these linemen have to work together, and just being able to be in an offense for another year. I would expect that your tackles and overall the line just works better together if they're together for a second year. Just think about how good the line was when you were in 2021 and those guys had played together for like 3 or 4 years. But is college football a reality now where you just can't expect to have any sort of continuity at that position or maybe any other? Because, you look at what's going on at tackle, like, well, maybe we need a couple of other guys there. I do like Carmona at left tackle, and I think Harris has shown some things at times, but you also got to create some competition, bring some guys in. I think you need a number 1 wide receiver, too, next year.
Well, you're going to make sure they need to be locker room guys. You're losing a captain in Landon Jackson. I don't think you're going to get away every year just saying we have 27 captains. I guess you could say it worked this year. But the captains know who they are. Maybe one of these linebackers would be a captain. But that's kind of the important thing, too, is making sure you get the right guy. Armstrong, what a leader. Jaquindon Jackson, a pro's pro, been around for a while. Hudson Clark. You look at some of these guys, if this is their last game, they're going to play. Now, Hudson Clark might play in the bowl game, but you look at some of these leaders, and it's some of their Armstrong, Jaquindon Jackson, and Landon. This is their last game they're going to play for in a Razorback uniform. You got to replace those guys, man. Those are going to be tough guys. Can you hit on all 3 of those? I mean, that's really doing something if you can go out and hit on all 3 of those guys. If you can go get a defensive end that's comparable to Landon Jackson, if you can go find a running back as good as him, can you go find a receiver? I mean, this receiver, he just had the 3rd best statistical, receiving season in Arkansas history minus the touchdowns.
Well, and the other aspect, too, it's like I've liked what I've seen from Satania of late, but there isn't anything from any of the other receivers right now that tells you that you can replace maybe even 3/4 of the production that you've gotten from Armstrong. So I think you're looking for a receiver, I think, that's been very productive wherever it is he's been. Like Armstrong was at Division II. It's the same at Tesla, and it's he hasn't been as productive. But I think there needs to be somebody that you point at and say, this is somebody who will compete to be our number 1 receiver. And I wonder if that player is on this team right now. Charlie's here. We'll take Charlie's call, then go into the break. Happy Tuesday, Charlie. How are you?
I'm good. I want to get this out of the way because I don't know if I'm going to get to call in tomorrow. But I do want to say this. Happy Thanksgiving to you guys, your families. You know, I'm thankful for what you guys do. And so thankful for just this platform in general to be able to call in here and have fun, joke around. I mean, half time we don't even talk about sports, but we talk about the Tuna's crazy life. So anyway, but I do want to thank you guys, Phil and Matt and C Unit, and I love this, and it's just awesome. So I just want to point that out there.
Thanks,
But,
Charlie.
And hopefully I do get a chance to call in tomorrow to say it again, Phil, because I couldn't say it enough. But I do want to say this. You guys were talking about that, the wide receiver one thing. Yeah, man, I mean, we got to go get some guys. I think, you know, what do you think? You know, some of these young guys, do you think they develop? I don't know. With Jordan Anthony, with C.J. Brown, what do you know, something make it happen with them? I do think, too, like, at some point next year, as Taylor develops and as this offense develops, I hope Luke does not lead him. I think you're going to see him get the ball more. I think there's going to be some things that are going to be better next year if you can bring a lot of people back, as you guys were talking about. But it starts up front. And Phil, you said it. They got to get some competition. You're saying you're bringing those 5 guys back, and that's cool if you do that, if you're able to do that. But they can't just be given the job. You know, everybody wants to talk about opening up the quarterback competition. I'm not giving anybody a job in today's day and age. If you can go out in the portal and, as Matt said, pluck some guys, go do it, and let's upgrade if we can on this O-line and D-line. More than anything, it's you got to create some competition there. And I know it's hard to find Landon Jacksons out there. I know it is. But you got to darn sure try. I mean, because you're not going to win in this league if you don't. I mean, we can talk about all the wide receiver ones we want. It's very important that we do that. And, by the way, Matt, did you say C-Unit had to pass the stick, or was you just talking about people down 3 TDs earlier on the show?
21-0.
The Twankfish.
Yeah,
My
man.
son, by the way, who's the
he
only
passed
gamer
the
that lives in
stick.
this house, he did not know what that means. So I don't know
I
if
ain't
he's
passed
played
the-
games where it's about a score of 21-0 or blackjack.
I ain't passing the sticks, and neither is C-Unit, because and especially in today's time when you're playing online, you ain't never out of a game. The Tuna has come back before. He ain't never out of it. Now, if it's 3 minutes left in the fourth quarter, that's different, but don't ever count the Tuna out. Don't ever count the C Maestro out either over there. He's pretty good. Y'all have a good one.
Thanks very much, Charlie. Yeah, I mean, it's the idea of if, you know, Green's going to come back. He'll be here again next year. I don't know about the rest of the quarterback room. You know, there's a lot of folks that think that Malachi Singleton will look to transfer. There is film on him right now out there. And everybody's got their opinion as to who should be the quarterback. But I do think whatever happens coming into next season in spring ball, like, Green was sort of, I mean, was he anointed the starter from the start? I mean, it really feels like that, being handpicked by the offensive coordinator. He was anointed the starter from the start. I do wonder if that's the case next year, depending on who it is you bring in or if Singleton stays. If Singleton stays, then he's been told, well, this is a competition for this job. We're not bringing you in here just to be the quarterback. You have a chance to win this job. I just wonder if that's exactly what he's going to be told, because Matt, you've mentioned this too. It's like, if he was really part of the future, would he have played a little more in the second half against Louisiana Tech, or would he have played, in a couple of other situations? They really do like Taylor Green, but I do wonder if it's at the point where it's just like, all right, he comes back, he's our anointed starter next year.
Well, it's 100% he's the starter, but it's still it's his work ethic, it's his leadership, it's his it's locker room. He's going to be doing all that stuff. It's not like he's the starter, but he's going to go do summer workouts on his own. I mean, it's good for the team to know who the starter is. There's and I don't think Petrino, when he took him out against Auburn, I don't think he had a cramp. I think Petrino wanted to see something new, and then when he saw it, he said, "Oh yeah, he's not ready yet." 100% that if he was part of it, you would have played him against La Tech. You would have had a package going in there saying, hey, we're going to get you a couple reps. He played 0%. That tells me everything I need to know about who the starting quarterback is.
We'll get into more of that later, and I want your opinions as well as we go throughout the show. It's 877-377-6963. Courtney Mims from Pig Trail Nation joins halftime after this break.
This is the beginning of a beautiful friendship.
This is Halftime.
Hi, everybody. Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where all we do is keep you rolling. If you're needing a used car, we've got them. Everything from the most affordable cash cars to road-ready certified with warranty. The best used cars your money can buy. And we've got a finance option for everyone, whether you have great credit and you're looking for the best rate or you're needing to build your credit with a reputable lender. We've got you. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center. All the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath.
Hey, it's Ty Richardson, and we are live at Lily's Sandwich Shop in the Bakery District. Jose, but what we got whipping up today, man?
Man, today's special. We have the French toast turkey melt, kind of a special sandwich. It really didn't put us on the map, but it did put a star by our name.
Daily specials every day at the award-winning Lily's Sandwich Shop. And if you don't believe me, ask Lily.
My name is Lily. My papa makes the best sandwiches at Lily's Sandwich Shop. I'm buying them at the Bakery District today.
Valley Family Dental, formerly known as Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. Dr. Sparkman, Farmer, and now Dr. Blaine Van Nice work to give all of their patients better lives with a better smile. Valley Family Dental, now offering same-day crown service. Mention you heard this ad on ESPN Radio at your next appointment and receive a free bleaching kit or $100 off in-office accelerated whitening. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit valleyfamilydentalpractice.com.
Waldron Wave Rural Connect. Internet is now available in your area. Fast fiber internet and full-featured home phone are ready for you. This covers areas around Waldron, Bates, Winfield, Y-City, and more. Check out your address online today. The best whole home solution of internet and phone, all from a local provider you can trust. Order online at signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Even though the holidays are almost here, there is still time to get results for your body with a personal trainer right here in the River Valley from Anytime Fitness on Rye Hill. Your choice for the results you want. Black Friday buy one, get one personal training specials. And new members get the rest of the year for free. Even more Black Friday specials to choose from. Anytime Fitness on Rye Hill on 71 North. Ask about our giveaway from our partner, First Form and Vortex Optics. Anytime Fitness on Rye Hill, ready to help you train for the body you deserve. Anytime Fitness, Rye Hill.
Finding your joy in cycling is the main goal at Champion Cycling. Champion Cycling takes pride in helping you find the right bike. Whether it's a road bike, mountain bike, or just a bike for leisure, Champion Cycling has a great selection of bikes, including brands like Specialized Surly and Salsa. Need service or repair? The friendly, professionally trained technicians will assess your bike's needs and provide you with a free, no-obligation estimate. Find your joy in cycling at Champion Cycling, 5500 Mazur Road in Fort Smith.
'Tis the season for Hardee's handcrafted goodness. Made from scratch buttermilk biscuits pulled fresh from the oven. The return of special traditions like salty sweet candied bacon. And faithful friends like Hardee's cinnamon raisin biscuits gathered near to us and served all day, all season long. From icing drizzled biscuits to savory charbroiled burgers, unwrap the holiday goodness of Hardee's. And now enjoy breakfast till noon. Available for limited time at participating locations. Items may vary.
Up to $3,000 off and 0.9% financing on all 2024 Buick Encore GXs at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The Buick Encore GX is a boldly styled 5-person SUV that is ready to reward. Up to $3,000 off and 0.9% financing for well-qualified buyers. This is a limited time offer. Experience the new Buick at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith and online at harryrobinson.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
When you wake up in the morning and the light is hurt your head, the first thing you do when you get up out of bed is hit that streets to running and try to beat the masses. Go get yourself some cheap sunglasses.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Call or text 877-377-6963. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Always appreciate a conversation with Courtney Mims from Pig Trail Nation. She is stepping in for us today. And Courtney, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks so much for having me on the show. You know, I always enjoy coming on when I can. So I appreciate y'all for having me.
Absolutely. First off, congratulations on nomination for Arkansas Sportscaster of the Year. You're up against, it's going to be a tough one to win with Baz and Steve Sullivan, but it is a well-deserved nomination, Courtney, and I'm sure it won't be the last.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Yeah, some stiff competition there. I mean, goodness gracious. Like, you see that list come out, and you're just honored to see your name on it, quite honestly, with Baz on it and Sully on it. I mean, two amazing broadcasters themselves, and so, yeah, very honored. So thank you for mentioning it. I appreciate you.
You got it. All right. Basketball last night. Anything to take from that game other than it's just kind of fun to beat a team by 80,000 points?
Yeah, it's super fun to beat a team by 80,000. Look, you hear Hogs by 90, right? You go, it could happen. It could happen. We always say this, you know, but it could actually happen. They could beat them by 90. And, you know, you look at the team and see, you know, in the post-game press conference when Billy Richmond and Carter Knox go, we just wanted to keep our foot on their necks, and we wanted to beat them by 100. So you love to hear that. You know, we kind of knew going into this game that they should beat them by a lot. You look at what Illinois did and handled them this past weekend, and they beat them by, 47? So I kind of said, yeah, Maryland Eastern Shore, you know, get ready. You're probably going to have another beatdown, and that's exactly what they did. That's exactly what they should do. A lot of people said, wait, why did Coach Cal have his starters in for so long? And I've said all season long so far, you know, in this non-conference play, these guys needed to get healthy, and they need to play together. They need to practice together. I mean, people don't understand that they haven't been 100%. And so these games, they're their practice, right? They're using them to show them in-game situations, play some situational basketball when you weren't able to scrimmage before the season started. So I think that's somewhat of a positive that you can take away from that game is those guys stayed in the game. They got a chance to play together some more, to gel together, and that's a huge positive. Again, and you can also look, it's a common opponent with your upcoming opponent in Illinois. So you see what they did against them, and then you look at what you did against them, and you can kind of say, okay, there's a lot of positives from that game for sure.
Courtney, who so far has been your favorite player to watch, and have you seen enough to say, hey, I think these couple guys are going to be the leaders, and we'll go as far as these couple guys take us? Who would you say our couple guys are?
Yeah, I would say my favorite to watch, and I'm with the fans on this one, is Deuce Zero. I mean, he has just been so fun to watch what he's been able to do and to see kind of the progression that he's had from last year to this one. I mean, Coach Cal has talked about it as well. Just he has gotten so much better, and to see that development in person and to watch it each and every game, I think has just been really, really fun. I think he honestly is a leader on this team. Talking to him before the season started, you could see that he just had a lot of maturity. And I'm sure that's just from staying at it and making sure that he's one of those guys that shows up to practice, that makes sure he's doing everything he's supposed to do and set an example for those younger guys like, you know, Boogie Fland and Carter Knox and Billy Richmond. And I think he's done a really good job of that. Other leaders on this team, I know you haven't seen him that much. Jonas Adu. I mean, getting to talk to him before the season started and even a little bit here and there when we've been to events and stuff, we haven't seen him. I know he needs to get healthy. I'm praying for that all the time, but he is a guy that's very vocal and talks to these guys. And even on the bench, you watch him and you're going, wow, he's getting involved. He's saying things to them. And so I'm like, wow, big leader there. John L. Davis, another one that has that experience, that is talking to these guys, that's making sure that not only is he going through something himself, that he needs to get healthy. I know he's dealing with that lingering wrist issue, but he himself is also giving that knowledge, that experience to the younger guys too. So the good thing about this team is you do have a lot of leaders on it that are helping those younger guys, the younger talent. So I've enjoyed watching them so far. And I think to everyone asking, well, do you think they're going to go all, Final Fours. You hope so, right? This team has a whole lot of talent. It's just hard to tell this early on, especially when the team hasn't been 100% healthy. I'm telling people, call me at the end of December. Let me know. That question then, because I think we're going to have a much better idea of the ceiling of this team then.
That makes next month really, really important because there aren't all that many games. It's there are a couple games you want to try to absolutely do your best against top-notch competition, thinking going, playing Michigan, playing Miami. But you're going to make your bones with this team once you get into SEC play, and I just don't expect that you see Arkansas anywhere near their best or a semblance of what Cal thinks they can be until your guys get healthy. And that's what next month is about. Like, if Adu can't play right now, fine. Let him sit. Let this ankle heal because they're going to be at their best when he's on the court. So, you look at the games that they have to play next month, and that's one thing. We all want to watch it. It's a good thing we have basketball because there'll be one bowl game and that's it. But for some of these guys, this is just a matter of, I don't know, hyperbaric chambers. They got all these great toys in the training room. Something's got to work to get the guys healthy.
Yeah, and that's really what you're talking about here. I mean, when people ask me what the biggest issue of this team is, I immediately say they've got to be healthy, right? I mean, that is the issue that they're facing right now. And it was a criticism when Cal came out, at the beginning of the season or when he was putting together this roster, really. And he said, yeah, I only really want 8 or 9 guys. And the big question on everybody's mind is, well, what if you're not healthy? What does that mean if if you need that depth, right? And so now we're kind of seeing it in play a little bit here. And I think they're feeling confident that once this team can be 100% healthy, that they're going to be great. But I like what Coach Coleman said after the game last night. He said, look, this is why we need Carter Knox to step up. This is why we need John L. Davis to get through his struggles. Because when you have this team and they're all the guys on the court are playing good, right? You don't need one star or one guy to step up and be great. If you have everybody playing good, you're going to win ball games. And I just like that analogy because he's right. They have so much talent on this team that nobody's questioning that. But getting them all healthy, getting them all playing together and seeing what you did last night where you have 7 guys in double digits, that's the glimpse of this team you want to see. That's where you're like, okay, if you can recreate this against a top-tier opponent, right, an SEC team, that's where you're going to go, whoa, this team actually can make a Sweet 16, Elite 8, Final Four. Because if everybody is playing together, playing good, that's all you need with this much talent.
Courtney, I want to ask you about your Florida Gators before I ask you about Arkansas and Missouri. Oh. Has the mood changed a little bit? Do you feel like maybe you found your quarterback and Napier's still fine? How are you feeling about the Florida Gators now?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked me about that. A lot of people have said, wow, this is really good. I mean, we know Scott Strickland announced that Napier was coming back a few weeks prior to everything that's happened to now, which obviously was a good thing. The players, from what I've been told, the players in that locker room love Billy Napier. They want to play for him. That is good, right? That's a good enough reason to keep him. If your players like him and they're playing for him and they're playing tough for him, okay, that was the reason Scott Strickland said, all right, we're gonna make sure that he's coming back, and everybody knows that. Well, you saw the benefits of it against Ole Miss and then against LSU. So do I think long-term is he the best fit? I'm not so sure. I mean, jury's still out, right? Because DJ Lagway is clearly their guy. He's clearly an incredible quarterback and so young still, so he has such a high ceiling. I think I would have liked to see them figure that out a little sooner, right? Because can you imagine if they just said, okay, we're going to start DJ Lagway at the beginning of the season, and they said, sorry to Graham, he's our quarterback. I just would have liked to see what he possibly could have done in some of those games that, he wasn't played as much as Graham. And the injury to Graham, obviously I hate it for him, but might have been the thing that saved Billy Napier. And I hate to say that, but it might have been just the thing he needed, because then you have to start DJ, and you saw what happened. So I don't know. Jury's out if I like him too far in the future, but for sure this season has been a major turnaround. I know people are talking coach of the year possibly of a turnaround that he's done. I don't know about all that. I'm still a little skeptical, but maybe that's why I'm a fan, you know. I'm a little skeptical.
You know, you think about it now on the Missouri game, you think of the troubles that Arkansas had to cover the deep ball against Ole Miss. Texas was a different situation. They had the different kind of coverage, different sort of alignment. That makes sense. I would assume you might want to have the same kind of alignment this time against Missouri because Brady Cook is healthy. Luther Burden, it'll be the last time he plays a game for Mizzou. I'm assuming he won't play in a bowl game. He's going to be going early in the draft, a great receiver. You know, and it seems that this new alignment of the defense, the 3-3-5, has worked out very well. So why not give it a chance again? Because Burden can beat, Cook and Burden can beat teams nearly just the two of them.
Absolutely. And they're looking at that stat that, you know, Arkansas is 18th in passing yards allowed in the country. And so they're looking at that stat from the secondary and they're licking their chops, right? They're saying, man, we can take advantage of this. So, yeah, I think if it ain't broke, you know, why fix it? You know, try it again, see what happens. And I think the defense, like you said, they've got to step up. And they did. They have. They did against Texas. They did against Louisiana Tech. So I'd like to see the defense that showed up in those games, not the defense that showed up against Ole Miss. But you're right. I mean, that is how you've got to beat this team, this Missouri team that's playing at a high level right now. You've got to go in there. And quite honestly, I think a little bit of it, too, is mindset as well. I mean, we've been hearing all week long, or at least from the start of the week here, about this rivalry and about, you know, getting these players ready to play in this rivalry. And that Sam Pittman said some of these players weren't here last year, and that's why I'm trying to get them to understand what this game means. And so I hope they're going in there knowing that this is a really serious ball game. It really is. And I know there's a lot of fans that say it's not a rivalry. It's not a rivalry. I get that. But, you know, when a team, you haven't beaten, you know, a team at home, you know, at their house at all, you haven't done it. I mean, that's got to motivate you, right? Seeing last year and that embarrassing game, that's got to motivate you. So I think some of it is mindset too. Hopefully the defense goes in there and really wants to show them, Arkansas can do this. Arkansas can get a win in this rivalry, or whatever you want to call it. They can get a win. They can get a trophy. I mean, it's crazy to me to think about, like, since I've been here, I haven't seen Arkansas win a trophy game. So I just think that's crazy. I'm like, man, I haven't even gotten to see that. So hopefully the players know that this is a very serious game, and hopefully they want to end the season on a right note.
Let's say for Courtney's sake, win it so that she can win a trophy game. Courtney, we'll leave it there. Again, congrats and good luck on the voting, and always enjoy you on the show, and we'll look forward to having you again sometime soon.
Yeah, I appreciate it, guys. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Courtney.
Courtney Mims from Pig Trail Nation with us today on Halftime. We'll open the phones here for you. It's 877-377-6963 for calls and texts. I think a team you play every year is a rival, no matter if you want to accept it or not. You play them every year, rivalry. This is a rivalry. We'll be back with more Halftime in a moment.
This is Halftime. You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line now.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
In Arkansas, 7 out of every $10 placed on a sporting bet app is with Bet Saracen, because Bet Saracen offers more ways to win and more ways to get paid, and faster. Find your winners on Bet Saracen and look for my R prop bet specials. I pick them and you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
The beast. Monster Energy is here to give you the edge this college tailgate season. Loaded with bold flavors, our powerful blend gives you the energy you need to push you beyond your limits. Tune in all season long with Monster, the energy drink of ESPN Radio College Football Tour. Power your performance with a drink that's as hungry for victory as you are. Crack open an ice cold Monster and dominate your competition. Monster Energy. Unleash the beast. Grab yours today. This is halftime.
Greatness doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, focus, and dedication. At Shelter Insurance, we understand that because we put in the hard work and dedication for decades. And that commitment is paid off with award-winning customer service for your auto, home, and life insurance.
See Agent Chris Dooley in Fort Smith.
Here with Grant Neal, General Manager at Rhodes Chevrolet. Grant, it looks like your quality and quantity of pre-owns just keeps getting better.
Yeah, it's really getting a lot better, and the reason is because we're selling more new cars. More new inventories rolling in, and with that, we get better trade-ins, which are the highest quality used cars we get. They're all going through our shop, getting a high-quality inspection from our certified technicians, making sure that everything works and it stops, starts, and steers safely, because we want everything out on the lot to be at a high quality. But we have something for everybody, whether you're looking for a cheap set of wheels just to get around, or you need a new primary car for the family, a new truck for work, whatever it is, I promise we're going to have something for you on our pre-owned lot.
What if someone needs financing or doesn't have the best credit? Can you help them?
Absolutely. Our finance director, Robert Good, is an expert at working with the banks. We've had people who said that they'll never be able to buy a car, drive out of here in a brand new set of wheels. And as we know, the Fed just did another cut in rates, so it's only going to get better as the year goes on.
2800 on the highway, Van Buren. It's Rhodes Chevrolet, where we make car buying great again.
Ty Richardson, we're live here at First Financial Mortgage. I'm here with my friend Ethan Adamson. Ethan, I know I probably texted you 100 times during this process, man. I didn't know what I was doing. Luckily, you did.
Yeah, Ty. It was always great working with you. Glad we could help you get closed. A good loan officer is someone who can answer questions after hours, before hours, and be available when you're needed. We get pre-qualifications in, get buyers pre-qualified so they can search for homes and get them closed quick. Call 479-782-9300. Weekdays 8 to 5. FFB1.com. First Financial Mortgage, in the business of you, equal housing lender.
Hey, is your roof leaking? Do you have hail or wind damage? Is it just looking old and worn out? If so, you need to call Hoghead Roofing, a family-owned and operated roofing company where the #1 customer is you. They will give you their honest opinion on whether your roof needs replaced or repaired. They have folks that have worked on the insurance side so they can assist with all claims. Licensed, insured, and ready to serve you. Call Hoghead Roofing today at 479-522-0840. God bless.
Colorworks Paint and Body in Barling offers professional automotive painting, bodywork, and fabrication that is unsurpassed in talent and dedication. Owner Andy Harrod uses the latest in collision repair technology to ensure all damage is addressed, whether it's visible or hidden, and works with all insurance companies. Andy and his crew have the experience and commitment to give you complete trust in the repair of your vehicle, no matter the size of the job. Colorworks is located at 1206 4th Street in Barling, across from Dollar General, and is on Facebook, where you can check out their work.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
And I couldn't take you down there with me. I just couldn't you drown. I made it all pretty clear. 'Cause I couldn't do it wrong. And I want to be
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Call or text 877-377-6963. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Oh, there it is on the North Carolina website. Mack Brown not returned after 2024 season. Do you view North Carolina football a little bit the same way you do Kentucky, Matt? Basketball school might not put all the resources into football, might be thinking of another sport first and foremost. But big university, big state, they've had a level of success, not necessarily like big-time success, but it's not like a bottom-of-the-barrel program.
Yeah, I mean, you got Clemson, South Carolina right there, Duke's right there, North
NC
Carolina.
State,
Yeah,
Wake
I mean,
Forest.
Wake Forest. There's a plethora of schools there. Yeah, I'm with you. I kind of look at UNC as a basketball school. But women's soccer, you start thinking what they're. I've never really thought of the Tar Heels as being a really like a superior football program, but maybe it's changed a little bit. Mac Brown's kind of put them on the map a little bit.
Well, I mean, they've made bowl games 5 years in a row. They've lost 4 in a row. They make another one this year. It's just no more than 9 wins in a year for them. It's a little bit, well, I mean, Sam did have the 1 year without a bowl game, and they've made one every year that he's been there. It's just interesting to go from a basketball school where he turned them into a good football team to go to a football school in Texas, win the Natty, then go back to the basketball school, and it just kind of was a little bit of the same as what he did the first time around there. Let's go to the phones. We got Cabbage Head with us here. What's up, Cabbage Head? Been a while. How are you?
Oh, it has been. Phil, you're number one with that ZZ Top bumper music. You're doing good, son. Cheap sunglasses.
Thank you, sir.
And,
Thank you very much.
Yeah, you do. You always do good on that. And you need to be told when you're doing good, and because you're always going to get told when you're doing bad. So
hey, I appreciate the positivity. You're right. No one tells you when you're doing good. By the way, Rick Schaefer had a ZZ Top reference on our football pregame the other day. Color me like never thought you'd hear that. I had to remind him. It's like, Rick, keep in mind, like, two of their best songs are Tush and Legs, and you are not talking about those things. All right, Cabbage Head, what do you got?
And you've been known to play LaGrange too. That's a good one. LaGrange is a good one. I hear Pittman, when he's on there, and I don't know if it probably doesn't mean a lot to a lot of people, but he's talking about, well, the kids, we do this for the kids, and we do this for the. It reminds me of that commercial, the things you do for your kids. Is it because he's a grandpa, or is, those?
I don't think he is a grandpa. I don't think Sam has kids. I think, truthfully, I think in his mind he views the players on that team as his kids, and that's an old-fashioned way to look at it. But I know a lot of people right now, and maybe you're one of them too. You don't view them as kids now because they're making money. And in a lot of cases, they're making money that you have donated to the NIL program, so you view it a little different.
Exactly. Those are young men. They make more money than some of those coaches do, and they're not kids. But that when Sam Pittman's talking, well, we do this for the kids, and we do this for the kids, and well, they're not kids anymore. They're really, when they get to that level, they're not kids, and if they're talking like kids, they're in the wrong place. I'll get off here and listen to you.
All right, I appreciate that, Cabbage Head. And I've seen some people talk about this, and I'd wondered too. When you when we don't have owners in college sports, but what you do have are donors that might be looking for return on investment. What's the return on investment? Not money coming back to you, wins, successful seasons. And people now, I've never told you not to complain about how you feel about your team, but when you're putting money into the system that doesn't have anything to do with tickets, concessions, parking, or just donations to the Razorback Foundation, that NIL money is going right from your pocket into the player's pocket through a middleman. So in that case, fans are looking for a return on the investment. I do think though, like there has to be another word here, because a 17-year-old that is showing up on campus, and a lot of these guys that are going to be that are coming in as freshmen are coming in January. They were just out of high school the month before. I mean, I don't view them as out-and-out professionals like the NFL. I don't think they are at all. They're making some money, so maybe kids isn't the right term, but come on now. A 17-year-old on campus, even an 18-year-old on campus, that's still a kid, but I do certainly understand where Cabbage Head is coming from.
Yeah, I mean, it is. It's professional sports now. You had the one and done. You used to be able to go from high school straight to the NBA if you were good enough. It's just kind of what it is. It doesn't. It's a lot of it's based on potential and growth and stuff like that. But Man, it's professional sports. It's a great time to be a college athlete. It really is.
Well, and I heard Sam talking about it yesterday a little bit. As they're asking him about NIL funds with the revenue share that's coming in and allocating resources to this position or that position, and you hear him talking. It's like this sounds a lot more like a CEO of a company that's got a budget and it's a finite budget and it's not unlimited resources, and you got to allocate to the right spots. I mean, that's kind of, it used to just be about scholarships and hiding the money that you're giving under the table in some cases. Well, now it's allocating funds to the proper person. But I think in Sam's mind, I don't mind him calling them kids still, because I think he's viewed them that ever since he started coaching. I don't think that's a negative thing. But do you take a different tack as a coach towards players when they're being paid instead of just getting the scholarship? Because it sounds, fans are looking at players from a different perspective now. Does that mean the coaches do too? I just feel like a lot of cases, it's okay to call them kids and love on them to a point, but when money's exchanged, things are viewed differently by a lot of other folks. 877-377-6963 for any thoughts you have about that. Quick break. We'll be back and wrap up our second hour in a moment.
I'm a peacock! You gotta let me fly!
This is Halftime.
Ready to explore beyond the beaten path? Discover the Range Rover lineup at Land Rover of Little Rock. Experience handcrafted luxury with the capability to take on any adventure. The elegant Range Rover offers unmatched performance and first-class luxury. The Range Rover is built for every journey. Visit Land Rover of Little Rock today and explore our incredible Range Rover selection. Plus, take advantage of our promotions and recently revamped service department. Visit us at 25 Colonel Glenn Plaza Drive or log on at LandRoverLittleRock.com.
Waldron Wave Rural Connect. Internet is now available in your area. Fast fiber internet and full-featured home phone are ready for you. This covers areas around Waldron, Bates, Winfield, Y-City, and more. Check out your address online today. The best whole home solution of internet and phone, all from a local provider you can trust. Order online at signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Are holidays stressful for you? Hey, Ty Richardson for the Whippoorwill. The Newmeyers would love to take care of some of that stress by providing you an awesome Thanksgiving dinner. Call the Whippoorwill at 479-769-2095 for the best Thanksgiving catering you've ever had. Smoked turkey breast, dressing, mashed potatoes, and turkey gravy with all the fixins. The Newmeyers' newest restaurant, the Whippoorwill, taking care of your holiday this year.
Seems Thanksgiving Day is upon us.
Hey, it's Matt Jones. Join me, Phil, and Dr. Charles Liggett every Monday at 12:15 for my favorite segment, 3 Up, 3 Down.
Man, that early slate of games, a lot of good games. Phil, congrats to Pittsburgh.
3 Up, 3 Down is presented by River Valley Smile Center. Visit rivervalleysmiles.com or give them a call at 479-646-0706. That's River Valley Smile Center. When you come here, you become family.
Did you get us switched over to shelter insurance?
Actually, I found a deal online.
You did. Does your deal come with award-winning customer service?
Oh, I'm not sure.
Does the deal include a local agent?
Doesn't actually say.
Can we create a customized plan that fits our needs? Let's just call the local shelter agent.
For insurance that fits just right, find a shelter agent near you.
See Agent Jeff Clark in Fort Smith or Agent Brad Howe in Van Buren.
Top CDL Academy is a licensed Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration that provides the federal required training to obtain both Class A and Class B CDL licenses. Our program provides assistance with employment after graduation. We have finance and grant options available. Students straight out of class have started new careers earning $70,000 to $140,000 per year, and training is provided for all 50 states. Call today, 479-632-1050, COP CDL Academy.
When you need tough and paint just isn't enough, check out River City Coatings in Van Buren. When it comes to your metals, paint can peel and crack over time. Whether it's your patio furniture, rims or trims on your automobile, or heavy equipment, no one has time for a redo. Powder coating provides the toughness you need. Preserve your investment with powder coating from River City Coatings. River City Coatings, certified John Deere, Caterpillar, ISO 9001, Packer, and UL provider of tough. River City Coatings, 471-7675 or online at rivercitycoatings.com.
It's Ty Richardson with owner and operator Cecil Gardner with Jazzco Graphics.
Favorite Hog memory growing up, Cecil?
When we beat OU in the Orange Bowl in 1978, I was living in Allen Grove Projects, and it was a shutout at halftime, and I ran out of the house. I ran from one end of the projects to the other end screaming, "Go Hogs." I'll never forget that. Jazzco Graphics Design, 2415 Midland. It's on the corner of Midland and Kelly. Jazzco Graphics, the one-stop shop.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
If you need a friend, don't look to a stranger. You know in the end, I'll always be there. And when you're in doubt, and when you're in danger, take a look all around. I'll be there. But I'm just thinking outside. Promise, no, they don't sound the way I planned them to be. You wait around a while, waiting for me. I promise you are.
Welcome back into Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Studios. Crabtree RV Center in Alma, where we make your dreams come true.
You remember, Matt, that Grant Hall had mentioned that Cal did not come out for a post-game interview on the radio yesterday, which means that there wasn't that, Cal speaking to the crowd thing. Instead, it was one of the assistants. I think it was also the same thing at the post-game press conference. Marcia texted in wondering why this was the case. Said Marcia was at the game, heard an announcement to stay in your seats to watch Coach Cal's outside post-game interview. She thought there might have been a couple other people that stuck around, kids hoping for autographs. Someone went and bought a basketball, thought it would get it signed, and there was no Cal. And she wonders why, if he wasn't looped in on the announcement. And I don't have an answer. I just think that we were so used to the head coaches doing every interview and every post-game and pre-game press conference, and that's not the way it is with Cal's teams. I mean, I think each of the assistants has done a pre-game presser. I think there was one game, I think it was on the road. It might have been the TCU exhibition where you had one of the assistants come out for postgame. So maybe this is just what happens every once in a while with him. It's sort of just like on Cal's whims, which I guess you take it as it comes in that case. But I can understand what you're saying because, Cal himself was promoting the idea of, everybody come to the game, stay afterward, sit behind Chuck and Zim, and we'll do a thing. And I'll be talking to you, and we'll do autographs and everything. But it didn't happen yesterday, and so I guess it won't be every single game.
Yeah, they sent a representative, so there was somebody there. What are you going to say, man? There ain't nothing to talk about this game.
Well, and that's the other thing too. It's like what is it that you want? What is it that you want to say? I think. I don't know if you have to talk about the game necessarily because 109-35, what is it that you can get into really? Or is it just a matter of, like I was saying earlier on this Illinois game, is that the game is the feature, but the coach is the star, and he's the one that a lot of people.
Is that a thing he's going to do during the season for home games? Or is that just a one thing? Like, so when the game's over on the conference games, he's going to come back out and hold court?
That's what he did at Kentucky, and hey, I told you, we've got this new green box that's right there where I sit to do the women's games, and what this does is, when we used to have, either there was Muss or it was Nabes, there'd be a little delay that would go over the sound system. And I think there was a request from Cal to make it so where there wouldn't be a delay. So when he's talking, you're hearing what he's saying at that very moment. And I've noticed that now because I use the same green box when I'm talking with Nabes. So that box was not there with Coach A or with Muss or any of the other coaches. So this was done so that there could be a direct communication from Cal to the fans that are sitting back there, and Nabes too. So I do think it's something that'll happen every game. Maybe not after you blow out a very low-level opponent by about 80 points. So I hope that answered your question, Marcia. So I just expected it would be every game, but maybe yesterday is the exception to the rule. 877-377-6963 to get with us. Here on Halftime, we'll have much more in our third hour, including Bill King from Nashville Sports Radio, and we are right back.
With everyday low prices on top brands, locally owned Yeager's Ace Hardware is committed to offering real service with real savings. Our brand new Barling store is now open at 942 Fort Street, just a minute from anywhere in eastern Fort Smith and Chaffee Crossing. Get these red hot buys at all 5 Yeager's locations. Save $100 on a Blackstone griddle, now only $249. And save $200 on a Traeger Pro 34 wood pellet grill for only $499. Find more everyday low prices online at YeagersHardware.com.
It's the Black Friday sales event. Harry Robinson, Saddlesall Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off of I-40 in Saddlesall. No payments till next year. You won't have to make a payment at Christmas time and eat into your Christmas funds to buy this brand new Ford here today. Jake, you got the biggest selection you've had since, probably since COVID.
Yeah, since COVID, almost when I first got in the car business. But I'll tell you this, Tommy, our prices on these new trucks will not be beat. We are not letting anybody around us beat us out on the price on these vehicles.
You got no payments till next year, as we mentioned. Here's the bigger story, I think. 1.9% financing for 60 months.
Yes, absolutely. 1.9% is phenomenal. Guys, when the rates are an absolute high right now, that 1.9%, you get more of a vehicle for less of the payment.
And up to $10,000 off right now on Ford F-150s, the #1 truck for more than 45 years. Harry Robinson, Saddlesall Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off of I-40 in Saddlesall. Shop the selection online at harryrobinson.com and don't miss the Black Friday sales event.
This is Bruce Stanton, Vice President and General Manager of Pradco Fishing in Fort Smith. Our #1 volume lure out of our 20 fishing brands is the Bobby Garland Baby Shad. We make them by the millions in our facility in Fort Smith, and the Baby Shad is without a doubt the #1 soft plastic crappie lure in the U.S. Fish it on a light jig head or underneath a float, and you'll find it's as productive as live bait. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Bobby Garland Baby Shad.
Brothers Roofing and Restoration, a licensed and insured local roofing contractor in Arkansas. Since his playing days for the Hogs, Brother Alexander has been on rooftops, many years as an adjuster, and in the past decade as a roofing contractor. He knows how to help you through the insurance process while replacing your roof using only the industry's best materials. And being a lifelong Arkansan, he'll be here to stand behind his workmanship and warranty. Call 479-353-3877 to arrange a time for Brother and his team to inspect your roof.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, plenty of sunshine, a high this afternoon in the middle to upper 50s. We will see an increase in the cloud cover tonight. And overnight low will drop down upper 30s to low 40s. Mainly gray skies Wednesday, a high right around 60. Thanksgiving, sunny, mid 40s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Forest Green Incorporated, committed to setting the standard of excellence since 1936. KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is Halftime, coming at you from the Crabtree RV Studios on ESPN 95.3. Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center Studios. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that respect it. If I'm all right. Why can't they dominate? And we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Yeah. Matt Jones may take it to the house and the dunk.
Both said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. Let's go, man.
The angles were so bad, we showed them at halftime.
What's angle one Razorback?
Like, what in the world were we thinking?
It's vintage Matt Jones.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
It's hour number 3 of halftime. We move into our 1 o'clock hour. 1 minute after that 1 o'clock hour, to be exact. 877-377-6963 for calls and texts today. We'll be talking with Bill King, Nashville Sports Radio, in about 15 minutes. 7 o'clock for the CFP release show. All right, look at this. I have no idea how this is all going to shake out. None whatsoever. I just expect that the top 4 remain the top 4. Although I wonder about Penn State with a 1-point victory over Minnesota. Indiana at number 5, how far did they drop at 10-1? Does Notre Dame potentially make it? Now, here's a thing to remember about Notre Dame with this playoff. They cannot get a bye. No independent. The only byes go to conference champions, the top 4 ranked conference champions. Notre Dame's not in a conference. So even if they're in the top 4, Notre Dame does not get a bye. Wouldn't that be an amazing thing at some point? Just think about this, Matt. If Notre Dame had not lost to Northern Illinois, they very well may be the number 1 team in the country.
And they'd be the 5th seed.
And they would be the 5th seed.
They'll change that in 2 years or whatever. They'll change that. I'd be a little worried if USC's ready to play. USC has talent. Now, don't get it wrong. Don't. I mean, USC has talent on the outside. They got some big playmakers. I saw them battle Penn State just toe to toe, and they couldn't figure it out at the end. But we see this going on last week. Excuse me. Nobody thought Ole Miss was going to get beat. Nobody thought Texas A&M was going to get beat. Nobody thought Alabama was going to get. I'm just saying they better be ready. They better be ready to show up. What happens? I've always said this too. Any 10-2 team in the SEC gets in the playoff 12. That's something. If you're talking about goals, I don't see them ever leaving a 10. I think Notre Dame 10-2 they make it as well. So I don't know if that loss would actually. You think 10-2 they lost to USC? You think they would hold it against them that much?
Man, I don't know. I don't know, really. The Northern Illinois loss
that was a bad loss.
Just sort of like the Ole Miss loss to Kentucky. It's an anchor that drags you down. It's just they're number 6. So with a loss, depending on what else happens on Friday and Saturday, do you fall 7 points? Or remember, I mean, there's a chance that the 12th ranked team doesn't get in because a group of 5 team is ranked behind them, but then that kind of flies in the face of the conversation happening right now. The idea that Boise State very well could end up with a bye because they'll be higher ranked than the Big 12 champion.
BYU,
they're higher ranked than any Big 12 team right now.
BYU's lost 2 in a row, and they're still in second place in their conference. Nobody thought Colorado was going to lose. Look at Arizona State in first place in that conference. You're sitting there at 5 in Notre Dame, and then you're going to get either BYU or Arizona State. I mean, you got to be licking your chops if you're that 5 seed. And then you're going to have to go 1. But that's I think you like that matchup if you're 5. I think, and I might be in the minority, but I think Indiana. What I saw when I saw Indiana play Ohio State, I didn't see just this inferior program taking on some other program that wasn't able to compete with them. The game just got away from them. It's a big game, big moment. They haven't been into a lot of those. But as far as talent, I think Indiana has that. I wouldn't hold that against them. I still got Indiana in the top 12, even though they lost to Ohio State.
Hey, look, the team in the Big Ten that if I were thinking doesn't belong in this case, maybe it's Penn State because they did not blow out every opponent the same way that Indiana did. Now, they had a better showing.
Oregon,
against
Ohio State.
but that happened at home. That happened in Happy Valley.
Oregon, Ohio State, Penn State, Indiana. Those are your 4 teams that the Big Ten's getting in. I'm pretty confident, 100%. Those are the 4 teams that are getting in.
Well, you haven't had these major upsets in the Big Ten that you've seen in the SEC this year. And maybe there have been a couple of them in the ACC. I don't know what you classify necessarily as like there have been upsets in the Big 12. It's just none of those teams are necessarily viewed the same way that we're viewing like Alabama with 3 upset losses on the road, or Tennessee with a couple of one upset loss here at Arkansas. Think of the losses by Ole Miss and just how, the one to Kentucky just doesn't make any sense. You haven't seen anything like that happening in the Big Ten. Is that supposed to mean that the bottom of the SEC is better than the bottom of the Big Ten? Absolutely it is. Absolutely it is. I mean, I think that goes without saying. But still, within the context of the rules that we've all created here and the idea that the Big Ten and the SEC, while one might be 1A and one might be 1B, is they're kind of on equal footing here. And you'd have a real problem leaving a team with 1 loss out of the playoff in the Big Ten. So I don't have a problem with any of those 4 teams getting in, including Indiana. The issue for the SEC is because it's a league that kind of has devoured itself. Are they costing themselves a playoff bid because of the bottom of the league being that much better? I mean, that's how the voters may end up viewing it. As a win in the SEC, does it mean the same thing as a win in the Big Ten, right? I mean, I think this is a tougher league to play in, but does that necessarily mean that your 3 losses means more than the 1 loss for a Big Ten team? Probably not. The other schools, yes. The other leagues, I can see it in that sense. I wondered... and another aspect that I've seen here in these arguments is that I don't know what the results were, but I guess Quinn Ewers is having an MRI on his knee. And remember, Florida State gets left out of the playoff 4 last year. And I think the main reason was because of Jordan Travis's injury, and they were down, I think it was a 3rd-string quarterback they were down to. Some folks are saying, well, we've done this before with Florida State. If Ewers isn't available, then Texas can't be in the playoff. But they have Arch Manning back there. I mean, it's a completely different situation. That's the top recruit in the country when he signed to go play at Texas. Florida State didn't have that behind Travis. So I think that's something the committee looks at, too, when it comes to it. And it's not like Texas is really in danger of falling out of the playoff 12. And I think some of it has to do with, you hate the idea of this being a reason, quality losses. Georgia and an A&M loss, if they lose in College Station, it's quality losses. It's better than losses that Alabama's had. It's better than, one of the main losses for Ole Miss. So, I don't want to be on these committees, Matt. It's just I end up getting myself tongue-tied. My brain would hurt, and I don't know how I'd rank these teams 1 through 25 at all.
Well, I know that Oklahoma State, the Cowboys are 0-8 in conference, and that game came around that we talk about don't buy into the rankings in September 7th, and talk about a bad loss for the Hogs, man. You're getting into these looking for the other side. Oklahoma State's 0-8 in the Big 12. We're 3-4, and they beat us. So then you kind of can Oklahoma State do so you kind of like what you're saying. It can kind of get a little goofy sometimes.
This whole thing
is this
goofy.
Is this South Carolina? We got Bill King coming on in a little bit. Do you think are you buying into any of this talk that this Clemson South Carolina game is for a chance for South Carolina to be the 4th team in the SEC, Clemson to be the 3rd team in the ACC, if that's how it shakes out? Because South Carolina could be the hottest team in the country if they beat Clemson right now. Are you buying into Clemson? Like I said, I told you I thought they will be in the playoff 12. Clemson beats South Carolina. They find themselves in the playoff 12?
I think there's a good chance of this because Georgia Tech hasn't had a terrible year. Look, they have 7 wins. That's not like a loss to Kentucky for Ole Miss. I'm looking at South Carolina's got a legitimate resume, though, here. I mean, their losses are to LSU, Ole Miss, and Alabama. They have wins over A&M, Missouri, And if a win over Clemson, I mean, I think that could be a legitimate resume if the committee is really considering a 3-loss team out of the SEC. South Carolina should be considered.
Haven't lost since October.
Right, and it part of it is it also supposed to be how you're playing at the moment? I'm not sure if that's part of the selection process, but they are playing the best of maybe any team in the SEC right now. I mean, they win in Norman. We just saw what happened to Alabama in Norman. They beat A&M. A&M is about to play for a chance to play in the SEC championship. They won at Vanderbilt. Texas, they won. Not only did they win at Vanderbilt, they won by 21 points. Texas barely won there. Alabama lost. They beat Missouri by 4. I think Missouri wasn't quite so healthy, though. But I do think, Matt, if they beat Clemson and it's on the road, Carolina does deserve at least a legitimate look from the committee.
They beat A&M by 24. I guarantee you this, South Carolina is pulling for Texas in every 100% of the word pulling for. South Carolina wants Texas to beat Texas A&M because if A&M beats Texas, then it takes South Carolina out of it. But it gives South Carolina a chance if they beat Clemson and then Texas beats Texas. Because if Texas A&M loses, I know it's a good loss, what you're talking about, they're out. They're out. But if it's Texas, Georgia, Tennessee, South Carolina beats Clemson, South Carolina be the surprise team in the playoff 12.
The playoff is a good thing for college football, Matt. Just think of some of these teams nobody was talking about. No one was talking about South Carolina. No one was talking about
They were 3-3. South Carolina was 3-3 after their first 6.
No one was talking about Indiana. Yeah. Well, and you're right. Like people when I looked at Indiana, were like, "Oh, they're undefeated. That's cute. Let's see what happens with Ohio State." Clemson coming on strong the way that they are now, and being as healthy as they are now, they got a quarterback they count on. Rocket Sanders is running like he did at Arkansas in his first year. It's a legitimate thing. It's something to bring up with Bill King in a moment. Remember about Clay Maxey Auto Group. Their promise is providing a level of service that maximizes your drive at every step in your car ownership experience. They have reliable, consistent repairs from factory-trained technicians. They're going to go beyond the sale and make sure that you have an enjoyable, seamless, tailored experience that fits your vehicle needs. And Clay Maxey is very proud of the communities that they serve. They have local partnerships, events, programs supporting the growth and well-being of all their areas. Their locations in Harrison, Mountain Home, Clinton, and Berryville, and online at ClayMaxeyAutoGroup.com. They ask for the opportunity to maximize your drive today. Bill King from Nashville Sports Radio is up right after this.
You're bleeding, man. I ain't got time to bleed.
This is Halftime.
Up to $3,000 off and 0.9% financing on all 2024 Buick Encore GXs at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The Buick Encore GX is a boldly styled 5-person SUV that is ready to reward. Up to $3,000 off and 0.9% financing for well-qualified buyers. This is a limited time offer. Experience the new Buick at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith and online at harryrobinson.com.
It's Ty Richardson with owner and operator Cecil Gardner with Jazzco Graphics. 16 years in the industry. How do people see what you've made over the years, Cecil?
Google, Yahoo it, or Bing it. Jazzco Graphic Design, JAAZCO, Monday through Saturdays, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. And sometimes I'm here after. So if that open sign is on, I'm here. Y'all come on in. Jazzco Graphics Design, 2415 Midland. It's on the corner of Midland and Kelly. Jazzco Graphics, the one-stop shop.
Waldron Wave Rural Connect. Internet is now available in your area. Fast fiber internet and full-featured home phone are ready for you. This covers areas around Waldron, Bates, Winfield, Y-City, and more. Check out your address online today. The best whole home solution of internet and phone, all from a local provider you can trust. Order online at signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Some days you hit snooze, but not today. Today you have to go on a run to get burgers for the tailgate. You've got to haul something heavy, a cooler stocked with Bud Light. You've got beer and football, nothing is hard, until the other team scores. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Enjoy responsibly. 21 plus. Copyright 2023 Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Hey, this is Dr. Cole Johnson at River Valley Smile Center. You hear my partner, Dr. Charles Liggett, at 12:15 on halftime every Monday. Dr. Liggett and I have worked at River Valley Smile Center together for 11 years now. Like the Hogs, we have a great team. Do you have a unique dental procedure, a complex dental problem, or are you just nervous about dental work? Come see me for sedation dentistry, implants, implant-supported dentures, as well as cosmetic dentistry. We are located at 8309 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith at the River Valley Smile Center. Check us out online at rivervalleysmiles.com or call 479-646-0706.
Sometimes I'm in a hurry. Stay in the slow lane, buddy. That's when I use the Sodies app to order my favorites and pick up in their drive-thru. They even offer a 10% discount on your first app order. Experience different at Sodies Wine and Spirits off I-540 on Phoenix Avenue.
Every day is worth celebrating at Uncorked. Cocktails, wine, craft beer, bourbons, and unbelievably great food. Uncorked on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodies.
Black Friday Christmas shopping season is underway at Jelco Outdoors now through Saturday. Stoker STR 9mm handguns. Your choice of micro or compact, just $295 after mail-in rebate. 6-hour Model 365 9mm handguns. Save 10% off. Winchester SXP Defender 12 or 20 gauge shotguns, $279.99. Gerber armbar slim cut pocket knife and multi-tool, $9.99. Don't miss the Black Friday shopping week of savings now through Saturday at Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Love my good. She looking good. Come on. 5 to 1, baby. 1 in 5. No one here gets out alive now. You get yours, baby. I'll get mine. Gonna make it, baby, if we try. You'll get old and the young get stronger. May take a week and it may take longer. They got the guns, but we got the numbers. Gonna win, yeah, we're taking over.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Go to the hotline. We got Bill King with us, Nashville Sports Radio, and we always appreciate time from the king of college football talk. Happy Tuesday, Bill. And in 1 week of the regular season, what was last Saturday's chaos for you while you were watching it?
I don't know that I was too shocked. I can't sit here and tell you I predicted all of it, but it's just the environment I think we're going to be in. And I'd say the one that probably floored me the most is Alabama's absolute no-show in Norman. I did not see that coming. That one was the most astonishing. I haven't seen Alabama look like that since Mike Shula coached them. That's a long time, 20 years.
That's going to it's gonna make people in Tuscaloosa a little bit nervous here. What did you think about Ole Miss's loss and the way they played in that game? I mean, look, I'm no Ole Miss fan, but watching Jackson Dart's reaction afterwards in his post-game press conference and everything, the kid was crestfallen. That whole program was designed with the money they spent, the kids they brought back, the kids they brought in from the portal to make it to a playoff, win a national championship, and now I just don't see how they make the playoff 12.
No, it would take way more chaos than we saw last Saturday. Well, you're right. It was all the chips in the middle of the table. We're not keeping anything in our pockets here. And that's a really good team. You don't dominate Georgia. They dominated Georgia. I haven't seen Georgia get beat like that probably since Jacksonville 2020 when Florida beat them. And it wasn't that physically. That was an out-athlete type day when Florida had all those stars at running back and receiver. But it's a team that could have easily won several games in the playoffs. But it's tough, and Lane Kiffin has done a very good job there. But that reputation the haters have of him underachieving, it's hard to shake.
Any chance? I was kind of looking to see if there's an upset alert like it was so crazy last week. You know, Notre Dame has to go on the road. USC has talent. It's just if they're playing. Miami has to go up to Syracuse, who's halfway decent. Give me a scenario, one of those two. Which one's on more of an upset alert, Miami or Notre Dame this week?
Notre Dame is, I think, playing top 5 ball, maybe top 3 ball right now. I don't see that. Now, guys, I've got a million of those Notre Dame Southern Cal games. I understand what could happen, so I'm not going to sit here and say it's not. I just don't think so. I don't think the odds are there the way we've seen Southern Cal play to date. But that could. I mean, that would be – they're about a 7.5, 8-point favorite. I'll tell you, this is not the answer, but there's 2 games where it's good on good, and that's it. And that would be Clemson, South Carolina. That might be the game of the weekend. That is.
Is it a play-in? Is it a play-in game?
Oh, no. South Carolina's got those 3 losses. I don't think so. But Clemson's still alive, and Clemson could play in the ACC championship game. They're going to need a little bit of help because of Miami. SMU's already in. And then the other one's Texas A&M. That's good on good as well. And Texas is in, barring a collapse, and A&M's probably not. They've got 3 losses. But those are the 2 best good on good matchups. Egg Bowl, unless Ole Miss just is giving up, there's no way. They're about a 25-point favorite in that game. That's one of the biggest hate rivalries in America. People just don't know it outside of Mississippi. But upset alert, Vanderbilt, Tennessee's got to win that game. Tennessee's in right now. But this is a Vanderbilt team that's very pesky with a quarterback who's a competitor. Tennessee better play good ball.
Who shocked you the most this year, Bill? Florida State in Norvell there, or Gundy in Oklahoma State? Which one of these teams are you like, oh, my goodness, I did not see that one coming?
I have never seen a team that was 13-0. And then, of course, they lost all those players and got beat by 100 points to Georgia. Go from 13-0 to what's going to be 2-10. I've never seen that. That is astonishing. Oklahoma State is a shock, too. I thought they were a competitor to win that league. But Florida State's absolute top-to-bottom collapse. All right, capitulation would be more accurate. That's one of the craziest things I've ever seen.
Okay, so I heard you say you think SMU is in, and I think you're right because they have the kind of resume, wins that matter, whether they win the ACC championship or not. But I mean, here we were just talking about, earlier, the idea of a 3-loss Carolina team maybe getting a look because of some of their wins. But it doesn't seem like you feel that there is any SEC team at 3 losses that deserves to get in there. And this kind of goes to my way of thinking too. It's like a 2-loss SEC team. I can get it going in over a 1-loss ACC team, but not 3. So you're at the point here where there will be only 3 SEC teams that get in. Is that where you're going?
No, now let me make sure. I might not have been out enough. I think I was just acknowledging SMU is in the ACC championship game. I don't think they're automatically in if they don't win their league. And I don't think they'll get in with 2 losses. Georgia is possible. Georgia's going to have double-digit wins. And so I think they could get in with 3 losses.
Are we going to get to where conference championship games, you win a conference championship, you automatically make the 12, but there aren't automatic buys unless you're ranked in the top 4? Because you're looking at Notre Dame. If they didn't have this Northern Illinois loss, they would probably be in the top 4. Heck, maybe they still make it in there somehow. I don't know. but they can't get a bye, and that just doesn't. I don't know. I know they don't have to play a conference championship game, so maybe that's why they already get the extra rest. But it just feels like in a couple years when all this changes again, I don't know if you're going to go to 14 teams, but I don't think that the conference championship games will have quite the impact that they do now and next year.
You know the answer to that? It's whatever the SEC wants and the Big Ten. That's the way it's going to be. Whatever they decide the rule needs to be. There's some talk about that right now. It's mainly media, and I'm sure they'll have discussions about it. And Notre Dame, look, Jack Swarbrick was in on the original meetings with the SEC about going to 12 teams. Got to remember, the Pac-12 at the time and the ACC and the Big Ten were not in on those meetings. That's why they threw the fit, even though they did want to expand. And Notre Dame agreed from the beginning that they couldn't get a first-round bye. So they were totally in agreement from the time that secret meeting took place a couple of years ago. They were totally in on that decision.
If A&M beats Texas, is that enough for them to jump up? If they beat them this weekend, or you don't see any way A&M makes it up?
Well, if they beat Texas, they're in the SEC championship game.
So then they control their destiny. Then if they beat Texas, yeah.
Yeah. So
would it be a rematch? Would it be A&M Texas or would it be A&M Georgia?
No, Georgia's in.
Georgia's in. Okay.
So it's Georgia versus the winner of that game, and I think if A&M beat Georgia there, they'd probably get in. And then I don't know. Then you got 2-3 loss teams. It's a big mess between Georgia and A&M. But A&M would get in because they won the league, so
Right,
they have
and
to
then-
get in.
Yeah, it's just. Are you liking what the playoff 12 has done to college football this month? Because it's a little bit difficult to keep track of all the scenarios, but it feels very much like baseball pennant races, the last month of the NFL season. I kind of like this. It is entertaining.
It's keeping us alert, and I'm having fun with it. Again, I'm not a big expansion playoff guy, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what I think about it. Here we are, and I'm being thoroughly entertained with it. I absolutely am.
All right. I know for Thanksgiving, you have a very special recipe. I think we might have brought it up a couple of years ago. How much turkey gumbo will you be making for Thursday, and how long does this keep?
We made, because my wife will not let me do it Thanksgiving week, so we did it last week, 5 gallons, and we freeze it. It'll keep forever. I mean, I'll pull a bowl out or a container out in July. It's wonderful. It's turkey gumbo, and it's a long process. Roux and turkey carcasses, bone broth, the Trinity, which is celery, onions, bell peppers. It'll try your patience, but it is wonderful. It'll keep. Now, not in the fridge, but we freeze it, and I literally 7-8 months later, I pull one out.
Well, why are you not allowed to make
And we're
it
going
this
to cook
week?
a brisket too this year. Some of the boys want a brisket, so that's going to be part of the turkey festivities.
It wouldn't be a Bill King meal if it didn't involve some of the grill, I guess is the way to put it, right?
Correct. We smoke all those turkeys, bunches of them. I'll probably end up smoking 8 of them, at least.
Making me hungry. 5 gallons of turkey gumbo, man. That is that is
Yummy.
That is a lot. Yeah, very yummy. Bill, have a happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy all the football. We appreciate you coming on. You're one of the reasons that we're thankful for doing this show. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, guys. You too.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Bill.
it.
Bill King, Nashville Sports Radio with us each Tuesday. On halftime, it's the home stretch, 877-377-6963. Fugazi is coming up after the break.
Baseball, movies, good clothes, fast cars, whiskey, and you.
This is Halftime. You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line now.
Hey, Arkansas, are you feeling lucky? Because the Lotto jackpot is seriously over $4 million right now. A jackpot this high won't last long. And this one is only one in Arkansas. Some lucky player could be buying the winning ticket right now. Play twice a week for your chance at a life-changing jackpot. Tickets start at only $2. Don't miss Lotto. Only in Arkansas. Call 1-800-522-4700 for Problem Gambling Helpline.
Football is a game of sound. What if you couldn't hear your coach's play calls? What if you couldn't hear the referee's whistle? For deaf and hard of hearing athletes like me, these what ifs are a reality. But with the AT&T 5G helmet, now we can see play calls just like the other teams hear them.
Connect the player, change the game. Learn more at att.com/5G helmet. Connecting changes everything. AT&T. AT&T is a proud supporter of the Gallaudet Bison AT&T 5G helmet, not for sale.
You're listening to Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Watch every Hog game this season at Joe's Grill and Cantina, your home for half-price apps and taps during every Hog game. With TVs all around the restaurant, you'll have a front-row seat for all the action. Half-price appetizers like Joe's Sampler Platter, Ballpark Nachos, Tin Layer Dip, Brisket Nachos, and Mexican Pizza. And ask about Joe's Tailgate Packages to make your football experience even better in the comfort of your home. Half-price apps and taps for every Hog game at Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
Precision Garage Door features the finest quality materials, installation, and service for all your garage door needs, including garage door repair and new garage doors and openers. Fully licensed and insured with the largest showroom in Northwest Arkansas at 1907 Town West Drive in Rogers and in Fort Smith at 416 North 10th Street. Call Precision Garage Door today at 844-PDS-DOOR or check them out online at PrecisionDoorNWA.com. Financing is available. Precision Garage Door, voted best garage door company of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley.
Today is the day. After countless hours of research, cutting back expenses, and 9 months of anxiously waiting for her, today is the day you finally bring home your new car. It's also the day to protect her with an auto policy from Shelter Insurance. Our policies are competitively priced and include new car replacement coverage if anything were to happen to your new baby.
See Agent Chris Dooley in Fort Smith.
Looking to protect yourself and your family this flu season? Law's Drug Store at 6802 Rogers Avenue offers the latest vaccines for adults and seniors in both COVID-19 and the flu. Law's Drug Store has friendly pharmacists ready to assist you with no appointment necessary. Call 452-6116. It's quick, it's easy, and in most cases, free with your insurance. Law's Drug Store, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Open 6 days a week to care for you and your family.
Everybody, this is Tyson Van. Dad, tell everyone about your job at Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash.
Power washing, son. I've been working in the business for over 15 years, all over the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas, residential or commercial. At Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash, our cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, full deck cleansing, and more.
Call my dad at 479-763-5561. Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call, cleans it all.
It's sad that we live in an unsafe world, but we do. Would you be able to show the police who was at your home if something was taken? Guardtronic installs alarm systems as well as camera systems. Here at ESPN Arkansas, we rely on Guardtronic installed cameras to keep an eye on the radio station when we're not here. Guardtronic has been serving the River Valley for over 60 years. Call Guardtronic for a free estimate so you'll be able to show the police who the bad boys are that took your stuff. Guardtronic, license E50.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Words disappear, words once so clear, only echoes passing through the night. Lines on my face, your fingers once trace, fading reflection. What was?
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
All right, we are in the home stretch of halftime on a Tuesday. 877-377-6963 if you have anything you want to hit on with us. And we usually do this in hour number 2. We're going to do it right now. Instead, Fugazi.
It's all a Fugazi. You know what a Fugazi is? Yeah, I know what a Fugazi is.
Fugazi. It's fake.
It's not like this in real life. How do you know it's a Fugazi?
I am telling you right now that back there is not real.
Fairy dust. It doesn't exist. It's never landed. It is no matter. It's not on the elemental chart. It's not real. So that's a Fugazi. All right? Yeah, Fugazi, Fugazi. It's a Fugazi. It's a Wazi, it's a Woozy, it's a... Seconds. It's a fake.
Matt, I'm gonna let you go first on this. I thought you had a pretty good one planned out.
Yeah, I mean, who knows why I do anything of anything, but mine is Boise State. They are going to win 0 games in this playoff 12. I think they're the most overrated team. Some might say Miami's the most overrated team. But, man, Boise State hadn't played anybody. They got the best player in their conference. And you know, you got to beat who you can. You can only play your schedule. But I do not. Whoever gets Boise State's going to be licking their chops. I think they're the biggest Fugazi in the playoff 12.
It'll be interesting to see because they will get in. They will get in, and they may even get a bye, and they may be very much more well-rested than anybody else that they play. And I feel like so often we go by the famous win over Oklahoma. Was that a Fiesta Bowl win?
Statue
of
Liberty.
Liberty play and the ensuing marriage proposal after it was over. Yep. By the way, we had 2 of those proposals at Saturday's game at Razorback Stadium. One of them in the end zone before the game, and another one in the the driveway to the entrance to the Broyles Center. I'm sitting there doing the pregame show with Rick and with Gino, and somebody's just doing a marriage proposal with 3 of the cheerleaders around there to watch. It's a really smart man, because I don't know anybody who really wants to be proposed to on a video board, and then he saved money by doing it outside the stadium. Do it inside the stadium, it's going to be like $100 or so. I got a Fugazi for you, and it's the Ole Miss Rebels. The most expensive team to ever play in the Citrus Bowl, or maybe the Music City Bowl.
At least the Egg Bowl.
Right. Well, depending on who Citrus wants to take, if it's going to be Alabama, or if it's going to be Carolina, or if it's going to be Ole Miss, it's just none of the guys that signed up to take the money and play for this team signed up to play in any other bowl game outside of a playoff game. They're going to have nobody left by the time this is over. Depending on who it is that wants to go to the combine and expects to play expects to go to the NFL draft, I'm thinking a good chunk of their defense is not going to be there. No Pooh Paul, no Princely Umanmielen, no Walter Nolan. Does Jackson Dart get out there and play in a Music City Bowl when he probably needs to be preparing for the NFL draft? Even if you think he's not going to be an NFL quarterback, I think he's going to be getting ready for the draft. Ole Miss is Fugazi. That is Fugazi as it gets, because a team that comes out of nowhere, it's like you say, all right, these are the New York Yankees with all these money that no, they're not the New York Yankees. This is like if the Milwaukee Brewers all of a sudden had a billionaire, an owner who's got $80 billion and doesn't know what to do with the money and throws it all into the team. That's Ole Miss this year. It's like the Oakland Athletics all of a sudden having a $200 billion or $200 million payroll. These things don't make any sense. But then, when the money is spent, it's like, think of all the times, like the Florida Marlins. I know I go back to baseball with this so often. Wayne Huizinga spends, I don't remember what the dollar figure was for the 1997 World Champions, but he lost so much money from it that they traded everybody away. The next year, they had the lowest payroll in baseball, and they finished dead last after winning a World Series. You wonder if Ole Miss some of their fans, some of their donors may think of doing the very same thing. You didn't get anything on what you expected to be your return for investment for this year's team. They did not put money into the Grove Collective to play in Nashville in December or to play in Orlando on January 1st. They didn't do that. They're not getting the return on the investment that they expected or wanted, or I think in their eyes deserved, for the amount of money that is being spent on the team. So, I mean, it's got to feel pretty good for some folks out there to know that Ole Miss is Fugazi, because, and I've wondered about this when it came to college football, because you see it in the NFL. A lot of the teams that go out and go on spending sprees in the NFL, it doesn't work very often. It doesn't work very often. I think continuity in football has to might actually mean something to this. And is it a matter of mercenaries that are all there for the money? I think they were trying to be together about the idea of playing for a national championship and making the playoff 12. I don't think it's a cautionary tale either, because there's so many other programs that would that want to be in the position that Ole Miss was, where they can't complain about NIL. Like they're one of the teams that can't go out and say, well, we don't have NIL the way that we want it or the way that the rest of the league does. So some people will look at that as an excuse or a reason. 6 1/2 dozen the other. In that case, they don't have that excuse. They don't have that reason. This was supposed to be their year to rise up and do something that had not happened at Ole Miss since the 60s. And it's not going to happen. So I'm all for it. That's a Fugazi as well for you. 877-377-6963 if you have any other ideas about a Fugazi or a Fugazi. I also do I do wonder a little bit, and some people have mentioned, the thing with Cal not going out and talking to the crowd yesterday, that he was preparing for the Illinois game. I do think it's a little odd, because it was just a week ago or a week or 2 weeks ago that the talk was, stay after the game, we'll do autographs, I'll talk to you and everything. And all of a sudden, scouting Illinois, however long, the interview would be, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, can't do the thing that you said you were going to be doing. I do think that has more to do with the whims of John Calipari than anything else. But I also think that when you sign him as the head coach, you just sort of accept that that's what's going to happen. I mean, he's got a travel schedule that I've never heard of for a head coach, but he's been doing it like this for a long time, and is a great coach still. So I'm not making that any sort of a value judgment on how he spends his time, because it's worked for him to this point. So I wonder if he looks at like what I'd seen like what the day is like for, why am I forgetting the name of the former Oklahoma State player who did the talk show, now the head coach at Wisconsin, Green Bay. Gottlieb, that's right, Doug Gottlieb. I saw something about a schedule that he's keeping for a game day, in which you got like a shoot around at 1 o'clock. He's got his talk show from 2 to 4, and then they got a tip off at 7 o'clock. I still don't know how you pull all of this off. So Cal's been pulling this off for a long time. Traveling here and there, going to conventions, speaking engagements, having the buddies from Pittsburgh come in for games, and success is still there. I haven't been Final Four in 5 years or whatever, but the success, I think, is mostly still there. So I just think it has more to do with the whims of the coach, and you just get used to it. I think you get used to it at this point. Doug in Mountain Home says Aaron Rodgers is a Fugazi. He's going to be a Hall of Famer, though. I mean, he's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer, too.
He's one of the best to ever do it.
I think it's more about the Jets than it is Rodgers. Like, I wonder if you would have taken Rodgers and put him on. I mean, that was supposed to be a better team, but it's just obviously a lot of dysfunction in the front office there and with the ownership. So, I don't know, if you'd have put Rodgers on a more veteran team, like if you'd have been, just put him on the Lions, he probably would have been just fine.
You could put him on the Vikings. They lost their quarterback this year. That would have been an interdivision. I think they'd be just fine. I'm with you. I think it's more of the Jets. You put him on the Cowboys, I think they'd still be 4-7. I think it's more of a culture issue to where I don't know how much, when you think of Peyton Manning's last 4 years in the league, we forget this. He didn't elevate his teammates. His teammates elevated him. Now, he's still a computer out there and still smart, and all that stuff. But his last couple years, his teammate, Tom Brady at Tampa, his teammates elevated him. He's not elevating the players. That's where Aaron Rodgers is in his career. He needs to be around some more talent, and then he could be that extra piece. Like you put him on San Francisco's team doing Brock Purdy, I mean, I think they might be okay, because that's a collection of guys that can go.
Now, that's not to say that Rodgers isn't a weird dude. That
he's a Cal Berkeley guy. They're all weird if you go to Cal Berkeley. That's
good point. Marshawn Lynch.
It's understood. Adam Duritz. Saint Vincent.
Duritz wore a wig on purpose to look like he was African American. I'm pretty sure that's why he wore that wig. I mean, I think he actually said this too. It's a little bit of a different sort of a person, sure. Rodgers too, yeah. Weird, but I don't think that the Jets' performance necessarily is because of him. I just think it's an organization that is Fugazi. Maybe he should have thought a little differently to play for a different team. But then again, I mean, could he have guaranteed where it was he was getting traded? I mean, it hasn't worked for any quarterback there in a long, long time. So it is up to him as to where it was he was going to sign. So that's right. He says the Jets signing Rodgers is what he was getting at. It certainly didn't cure what ails them, because I just think being the Jets in New York for some reason is the thing that really hurts them a lot. That is your Fugazi for a Tuesday afternoon. And yeah, if you got any others of them, you can text them in at 877-377-6963. Here's another one too that actually I think is legitimate to bring up. We had a text out of the 918, a listener who watches, which I guess would make you a viewer on YouTube, and says the holidays are a hard time for him. But listening to people's stories and joys is a huge pick-me-up, and this isn't the greatest time of the year for everybody. It just isn't. I love Thanksgiving. I like, Hanukkah next month. I love taking part in Christmas festivities and all the lights and all of that and the giving of gifts and the togetherness, but not everybody gets to experience that. This can be a really lonely time of the year for a lot of people. So I think the idea of this time of the year is always about togetherness and family and showing thanks for the things you have in your life. That can work for a lot of people. But I also don't think that works for everybody. I think a lot of people get depressed this time of the year because they're solo, they're in solitude. Some people are good with that. A lot of people are not. So I would say the idea of togetherness for some people this time of the year is very Fugazi. But I would also ask that we might reach out to some of those folks just to make sure, not that they're okay, but that you're thinking of them. You don't want to make it look, you don't want to pander to them. You don't want to make it look like, you think they're going to hurt themselves or anything. Just let them know that you're thinking of them and that you value who that person is, and just leave it at that. I'll guarantee you, they'll be thankful for that. We'll come back. We'll wrap up halftime right after this.
But what I do have are a very particular set of skills.
This is halftime.
Waldron Wave Rural Connect. Internet is now available in your area. Fast fiber internet and full-featured home phone are ready for you. This covers areas around Waldron, Bates, Winfield, Y-City, and more. Check out your address online today. The best whole home solution of internet and phone, all from a local provider you can trust. Order online at signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
COP CDL Academy is a licensed Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration that provides the federal required training to obtain both Class A and Class B CDL licenses. Our program provides assistance with employment after graduation. We have finance and grant options available. Students straight out of class have started new careers earning $70,000 to $140,000 per year, and training is provided for all 50 states. Call today, 479-632-1050, COP CDL Academy.
Hi, everybody. Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where all we do is keep you rolling. If you're needing a used car, we've got them. Everything from the most affordable cash cars to road-ready certified with warranty. The best used cars your money can buy. And we've got a finance option for everyone, whether you have great credit and you're looking for the best rate or you're needing to build your credit with a reputable lender. We've got you. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center. All the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath.
Brothers Roofing and Restoration, a licensed and insured local roofing contractor in Arkansas. Since his playing days for the Hogs, Brother Alexander has been on rooftops, many years as an adjuster, and in the past decade as a roofing contractor. He knows how to help you through the insurance process while replacing your roof using only the industry's best materials. And being a lifelong Arkansan, he'll be here to stand behind his workmanship and warranty. Call 479-353-3877 to arrange a time for Brother and his team to inspect your roof.
At Arvest Bank, we believe in the power of serving others. That's why we're committed to working with and supporting those who serve our communities. From the ones who are making a difference in big and small ways every day, to those who are helping create better tomorrows. We appreciate everything you do, and we're proud to work alongside you. Because every community deserves a financial partner who cares. Arvest Bank. We believe.
AAA Business Systems is your printer, copier, and production print solutions provider. What makes AAA unique? Ricoh, Sharp, and Brother Equipment. Fast, friendly service from our office technology experts. All-inclusive service contracts, managed IT services, and 4 locations statewide. AAA Business Systems. Find us online at AAABM.com. AAA Business Systems. Anything else is just a copy.
Do you want to do something unconventional this holiday season? Hey, Ty Richardson for New Myers Rib Room and Beer Garden, where they are catering anything that they have on their menu at the Rib Room. Take advantage of incredible ribs, smoked wings, tamales, barbecue, and more. Call them at 479-494-7427. Stop in and see Joe, Linda, and their entire team at 424 Garrison Avenue in downtown Fort Smith. The New Myers wish you a very happy Thanksgiving.
Man, I wish I knew you were here. We hear that every day at In Stock Parts, located off Highway 45 across from the cold storage in Fort Smith. Are you a maintenance technician, landscaper, farmer, or do-it-yourselfer in need of bearings, belts, or roller chain? Or safety supplies like gloves, safety glasses, or earplugs? Maybe you need drill bits, tap and die sets, lubricants, or even a gas-powered pump or generator. Don't waste your time driving around. Stop by In Stock Parts, your industrial parts resource, or check them out online at InStockParts.com. In Stock Parts.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Oh, what you gonna do? You gonna get out? Tell me. Oh, what you gonna do? Do you wanna get out? What you gonna do? You gonna get out? Oh, what you gonna do? You gonna get out? Tell me.
Gonna do it if you really don't wanna dance by standing on. Get your back up. Tell me, how you gonna do it if you really don't wanna dance by standing on? Get your back up. All the people saying.
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Call or text 877-377-6963. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
Hey, for Thanksgiving, make sure you get over to Andy's Frozen Custard and get the pick 6. Or if you got a big group of people, make it a pick 12. You could even make it a pick 18.
Do they do the fumble 40?
Why not? Yes, it's all sorts of multiples of 6. Why not?
What are we at? Fumble. We're at 28 fumbles. Yeah, the fumble 28.
Oh, that's right. Let me get my stats here.
I'm sorry, I interrupted. That's bad.
No. It's all right because I want to see the pain in your face when I tell you how many times.
It was a Mark Price the last time I think that you said it was a 25. It was a Mark Price.
25. Yep.
The Mark Price, Andy's Frozen Custard. I'm sure the Cleveland Cavaliers got something going. You can do the fumble 25. Get 25 ingredients in there, man. Just there you go.
That's a pick 20. That's a pick 24 plus 1.
Yeah.
You can probably pull that off too. Why not? It's Andy's Frozen Custard. They've got all the great flavors. It is the place to go when you're looking to cool or satisfy your sweet tooth. Andy's Frozen Custard in Fort Smith on Rogers Avenue, Conway, East Oak Street and Dave Ward Drive, and in North Little Rock on JFK Boulevard. And now I know what I can bring to Thanksgiving, Matt.
A football.
It's right here. No, it's right here on my read. I just bring some frozen custard. It's all good.
We put it on the We put it on the turf twice a game, man. Golly.
That's rough.
Oh,
it really is. I mean, that's indicative of a problem. That's not indicative of unluckiness. It's not indicative of just bad snaps. That's indicative of a problem.
We might need to change the football. Whatever football we're going with, let's just change. I mean, you got to change something. You know, I'm not saying you got to be superstitious, but you got to be a little stitious.
We need some invisible tape. We need the tape that if anybody watches Silo on Apple TV, that Juliet used to go. I don't want to spoiler alert. She has a very special tape that Tim Robbins was telling the folks in the Silo about yesterday. We need this very special tape to hold on to the football. Pretty please. Let's see if Missouri's any good at forcing fumbles here, because these things do work together. 16 fumbles by Missouri opponents. They've recovered 8 of them. So they're going to go after it, of course. Yeah.
Man,
All
it's
right.
going to be interesting.
You get soccer to watch today, Matt? Is there anything going
Yeah,
on?
Champions League today and tomorrow. Like I said, tomorrow's Liverpool. They're hosting Real Madrid, and Real Madrid's Alabama. You know, they have 15 Champions League titles. What is Alabama has like 17 NCAA titles or something? So they're the best of the best.
Well, it ought to be all right. I don't know what the heck I got going on. We got a Sam Pittman live tonight because instead of Wednesday, I kind of changed up the schedule for the week in order to allow the guys to, I think they have a morning practice on Wednesday, and then I think they do get a chance to be around some other folks for Thanksgiving. Hope you have a great rest of the day. If you missed anything, our Eastside Liquor Halftime podcast comes right after the show is complete. We'll include our interviews, more like conversations, with Grant Hall, with Courtney Mims, and Bill King. Also have our Fugazi segment. Stay tuned for Ruskin and Zach coming up at 2 o'clock. They'll take you right up until Sam Pittman Live at 7. And then we'll do all this over again for a very Friday, Wednesday edition of Halftime. For Colton Little back in the studios, Christian Johnston, and my partner, Matt Jones, I'm Phil Elson. Thank you for listening today. That's Halftime. Now get up, get out, and get better.
Thank you.